and not in the mold that we already know life to be.
It'll just.
Hi, welcome to Super Deep, where we're talking about little lighthearted conversations, like
It's so feathery.
about AI. This is real simple.
When did you start that?
Simple stuff.
Consciousness, economics.
Hi, welcome.
She said the hot button word. You can't say that.
I'll say it.
Can
she
you
said
say that on air?
Marxism.
Can we say
Marxism?
Marxism on?
We can
Twitter?
say about the evils of nobody's
say
watching
about
this.
sun Marxism.
No, what's going to happen is that one of us is going to run for office at some point.
Yeah.
We're going to be like,
Someone's gonna dig
Yeah,
this
yeah,
up.
Yeah, we're gonna be like, this is bad
yeah.
idea.
So maybe we should
Actually,
keep it off
this
camera.
is
No,
us
I
and
don't.
our realists.
I don't
Like
care.
Bernie.
Well, let's hold our friends
Since we
to
were
their
in our
beliefs
20s
now.
at the D&D table, we've been saying the same shit.
I'm not going to have even a meager platform of only one person and not share my opinion with them. That seems
Okay. Yeah, yes.
That seems
Pointless.
yeah. Welcome to
What?
Super Deep. Hey guys, guess what episode this is?
Ooh, what
20,
episode is it?
69.
Episode 20. That's true. 69. Yeah.
I can't wait.
We'll get there.
Suck it.
Episode 20.
And
Suck it.
in celebration
real.
of this fun episode, we decided to put Halleck there and Dell there. So enjoy,
Oh,
Taylor.
yeah, that's a
we
thing.
Woo.
switched everything up on everybody.
Did you do that to get Jimmy and I not sitting next to each other?
No,
I just sat down over
he
here
just
randomly.
picked a different chair than usual.
Yeah.
No, we did no planning,
Thanks
and
so much,
there's
I
no
like
celebration. Let's see. I'm going to turn down one of these lights. Which one is directly?
I'll leave
behind?
all the oranges and yellows for Jake.
Thank you.
There you go. I'm
And
done with the back.
blue. I just want
Oh,
blue
yeah.
raspberry everything.
It's always the best flavor.
Ooh.
Savannah hates it.
Worth a try.
I
Yeah,
know.
one of
You know
these
what she
things
says
is
the worst?
We'll have a few.
Blue
They're
raspberry
delicious.
longer.
I mean,
I
kind
mean,
of.
those are the best.
They're like
Yeah,
chalky
those
and
are the
weird, but they're
best.
still like great.
They're weird. I do agree that they're not a
They're
flavor,
like tangy though.
but they're tasty.
You know what she likes? She likes the grape Jolly Rancher.
Ooh, I like a grape Jolly Rancher.
I hate grape
And
candy.
so
Yeah.
do you.
I mean, it tastes like cough syrup.
Dimetap, man.
Diamond Tap! No one else knows Diamond Tap!
Trauma.
You don't have to
man.
scream about it.
I'm sorry.
The
It's
mic is right.
trauma.
It's
Sorry.
right there, bro. Dimetap!
Nobody else knows about
Get at us, Dimetap. Now here's my
We
thing.
should make a monster.
I'm just not
named
grossed out by
Dimetap.
those flavors. As a kid, I was one of those kids that like had to be told like, you
Yeah.
can't have any more Flintstones vitamins. Like they're not candy, even though like they weren't as good as other candy. I like those flavors. So yeah, I wanted more cough syrup as a kid, and not to trip.
I was so dramatic about it. I would have like a cracker in one hand over the sink and a glass of water next to me, and I'd be like psyching myself up. I'd be like, okay, I can do it. My mom hated me for it. I still am sort of like that when it comes to
This is
flavor.
for what?
Cough
Taking
syrup
that
Oh, cough.
Okay.
Dimetap. Or tequila. It was hard at first, okay? I still
Mom was
I-
always
I-
like, take your
I-
tequila.
take your tequila.
All right.
Super deep.
Welcome to episode 20. So last week on Super Deep, we went super deep into the Shadowfell.
Into the Shadowfell.
Actually, you went mostly into Waterdeep. At least last episode really should have been called Waterdeep About Town, because you guys took care of some business. You interacted with a dragon, the brass.
This is some really late season bullshit. Like we're randomly back in Waterdeep one episode.
Yeah,
yeah.
Why?
We got kind of
stuff
weird
up.
there toward
Yeah.
the end.
You visited the Brass Bank, which is in a set of like hidden magical islands to the south of Waterdeep, and you met with Kane, the dragon, who is the keeper of the bank. Basically, it's his hoard, and he runs like a semi like pawn shop style kind of thing out of it. But
Give you $5.
basically, he normally deals with like emperors or like lords who are trying to get the kind of money they need to build armies. So he lends coin against like items that he deems noteworthy. But in this circumstance, you guys were unloading that phylactery, that Lich's phylactery. Ezet the Lich I actually found his name is Ezet the Lich. He just gets the Lich as his last name.
God, that's so lame.
I know.
Nobody's the Lich.
Nobody's the Lich.
Ezet a Lich.
not the
Ezet, comma, Lich.
He's not the Lich.
Brandon did not like that.
What about just a good classic
Unbecoming.
AKA?
He just doesn't have one of those, is my point.
Yeah.
The dehydrated.
Point.
He's really lazy.
Yeah. You get at us, wizards. Fucking lazy. Making me think of names for people.
Come up with books like every. Never mind.
Easy.
No, they
Easy.
they do that on
Put it in
purpose.
the
They do
toaster
that
pouch.
shit on purpose so you can put all the flavor you want into it.
Oh, okay.
I appreciate that.
Oh.
Good design choice.
It's a
I never
lich.
thought of it that way.
Put a lich name after it.
Name it whatever you want.
Also, he's the only lich in the. That's not true. You guys haven't met them, but there are other liches in this campaign.
Really?
What?
Bro.
Well, there are levels you guys
I was
just
gonna
skip.
say they're.
We skipped. We skipped.
Take me to
them.
You've
skipped hella
You've
levels.
maybe only been
7.
20 level?
no.
It's been like 12.
There you go. That's a
what
much better.
Yeah.
If it was this the ends though, they really just covered bases for you. 5, 20, 12.
How many levels are
I didn't
there?
hear what they
Hey,
said.
There are
how many
20.
levels
There are
have there been?
21.
Right.
There are 21. You guys have probably done more than half of them, but only a little bit more than half.
I tried to bite this.
That was like as we started playing, I was like,
Yeah,
"This
you
is
can
great.
play
I'm not going to
it.
use everything, so I can still use it. We can come back to the other mountain. We can use it. There
Nice.
are man.
Now
there
that
are,
we're back in
you miss
Waterdeep,
you miss
we're
some.
gonna go to the other.
You actually missed some of my favorite levels, but
We're gonna go wreck him as level
Did it on
20.
purpose.
there's just. I mean, there's just.
Just suck.
They'll just be cool later. I
I'm
can
gonna
use
be-
We're
them
gonna
for
literally
things later.
take over the underground.
I'm gonna be a
We're gonna
lich.
go to the level with the
Mama wants to
drow.
be a lich. Y'all.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're gonna go. You do want to be a lich. Della would
Maybe
follow
I do,
a lich.
maybe I don't.
So
I
you
do.
you kept you
Hint, I do.
you hint. You planted. You gave Kane the phylactery. He promised to hold it for you, and you can buy it back for the small price of the staff of Agagatharon or whatever. That's it's such a crazy buy. Yeah, it's a big ask. But you do know that within reasonable doubt that at the very least that lich is not going to can't get at that phylactery
Sure.
without causing a scene.
Yeah.
Like no one's
Gonna
coming
be
after
a
that
big deal.
dragon's horde. At least not at not until you get to level 20. You know what I mean?
The lich is gonna have to level himself back up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you do have a spell book. The biggest problem.
That lich is.
His biggest problem is that with
Varden's
Hallister,
lair, dude.
Hallister, he really can't leave his little runestone castle without.
Castle?
Yeah, it's like
It's his fortress.
he built a fortress inside of the runestone, and that's where he lives. That's where you guys spot him.
Another
So,
ship.
it's not a ship. He doesn't have a ship.
Sure.
No, you're thinking of the Mind Flayer.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys also found a ship.
The pirate?
There is
We
a.
still haven't found the helm though.
No.
That's attached to it.
Nope.
Is it the shit?
You have not found the helm, but you do possess wish spells now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know if you need a spaceship at the moment. Also, getting that thing out of the Undermountain is going to be... You're not going to be able to do that without defeating Hallister. Basically, Hallister holds the key to this place being unlocked or locked, and you know that as it hasn't been able to act, even though as it was very powerful, like as it almost killed you guys,
At level 16.
Killed me twice.
he could, he could. He's already formidable. It's not that it isn't that Hallister's necessarily stronger than him on a 1-to-1 face, but Hallister has this whole place and like redundancies built into it. So he's biding his time. Patience is a big theme in all of our bad guys this season. So waiting for the right
We're
moment.
playing long game.
Yeah. You can do that when you live forever. So that's good news. So you have the Lich's phylactery locked away. What else did we guys do last session? You did a couple fun things. Then you talked to Macus, and you got your family out of town. Sayla gave her all that gold. Gave them all that gold.
Yeah.
Because Macus is clearly not something's. He's the Xanathar. You know what I mean? Like in more than one way.
Well,
It's
yeah,
not
I
grounded
think
in
that's
reality
like.
at
I
all.
think the way that I'm gonna play it is that Sayla. If Sayla's gonna save Macus, she's gonna do it on her own. So she's gonna try and take down Hallister first, and then I think that'll be her post game thing. Is that she's gonna go off and try and save him.
Got you.
SUPERDEEP.
Yeah,
and
that's
whatnot.
a good idea.
So
Get his brain out of there. Also,
So
yeah. Now your problem is that you could tell that the Xanathar was starting to speak through him. So
yeah. So I think that's kind of like wraps up her like family story
Sure.
arc, kind of.
roll me an insight.
Okay. Maybe it does. Shit.
Dice.
I'm gonna use a hero point.
You got one on your
You
mind.
guys have not been kind to you as of late.
Dude. No, I got it.
Just see what happens.
21. 21.
Your guess is that if you have any hopes of saving Macus, that it needs to happen sooner rather than later. That if the Ring of the Xanathar... Remember, he told you what the Ring of the Xanathar did. He told you that it had the Xanathar's mind in it and that he was fighting it. But now you know that he's had a intellect devourer in his head, not an actual brain. So he's half telling you the truth. That's why his insight checks were so high. That's why you guys thought you trusted him, because he was telling half truths. Like his checks were all like 25s because he's lying to you. Let's see. So you would know that you have not too long before that body knows, kind of gets rid of the Macus Lackman aspect. Now his mind itself, his essence, is locked away in Ultradeep. You could still save his soul or do some other kind of trickery. Got all sorts of magic and stuff around you. So once again, I feel like I'm only reiterating this because you guys have reached a new tier of power level that you're not used to playing in. So your whole mindset towards problem solving would rightfully change as you as a group start to kind of talk about the things that you can do with each other. Because what's your 5th level spell now?
Raise death.
Yeah, raise death. So now you can
we could essentially kill him.
Yeah, we can all do pretty
And
well.
then just
you can do all sorts of things that you
kill
just
him
were
and drag
not
his
part
ass
of the
down to
game
the-
before. You know what I
down
mean?
to Ultradeep and they just put his soul back in there and raise death.
Yeah, if someone, it's a whole new world. to borrow
Nice
a phrase.
thinking, Diego.
Okay, so you, what else do we do in Bank, Macus? You guys did some other stuff in water. That doesn't really matter. So it ended with us using.
Sorry?
I just couldn't hear you.
I didn't.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, we all right over there?
I'm
You
fine,
okay, Dale?
sorry.
Hey, shut up.
There's something happening inside
Did
your head?
did the planar shift spell using the focuses that you found in Ezek's tomb as personal effects? He had those stones you needed that basically resonate on the same frequency as the Shadowfell to travel there, and you traveled there, and I think we pretty much ended the session pretty close to that. I think it
With
was
the 3.
yeah. So you each were had an
disparities.
affliction fall upon set upon you. Apathy. You no longer Minerva has lost all confidence that she can affect things at all. You can tell her that it's this place, and you can be cognizant of this, but it doesn't change how you feel. You know what I mean? It does allow you you can make checks, you can try to fight these things, but basically you just have those disadvantages. So it doesn't mean that you can't role play things that you want to do. You just need to do it through the lens of I'm only doing this because you're making me, or what is the point of all this, or you know what I mean?
Right.
That kind of thing. You had
I had madness.
Yeah. So, it is.
You have disadvantage on ability checks and
Yeah.
saving throws that use intelligence, wisdom, and charisma.
Yeah, I can't detect lies anymore.
No, that was mine.
Oh.
Well, I wrote disadvantage on saving throws for wisdom, intellect, and charisma.
Okay, then you had madness. Then you had dread.
Oh, did I have dread?
Okay.
I thought I had madness.
That sounds
I
right.
thought
Okay.
I didn't write any of that shit down.
I didn't
Dread
write
is
it down either.
disadvantage on saving throws and on all saving throws. Just saving throws.
Okay, yeah.
But not on checks. So the difference is that you have disadvantage on checks and saving throws of those 3 columns. You have them on all.
Yeah.
You only have them on death
Right.
saves and
There were
initiative.
there were
checks.
other caveats that you gave me as well aside
The
from actual dread.
yeah. The other things were just the kind of the foulness of this place, and it would be kind of off-putting having never been here yourself and having the new sight of an angel. But dread gives you, I'm convinced this place is going to kill me. So you were convinced this place is going to kill you, and you don't want to be here. And then madness says, I just can't tell what's real anymore. So this is a different type of madness than what you had before. This is there's a bit of intuitiveness to it. Like you're constantly questioning, instead of it being like you haven't lost yourself, you're like hyper aware of these things. So you can still be like, I don't trust something, or you might have to make checks on things that are real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're like, maybe you don't trust it, but you still make those checks. So I don't need that to like necessarily influence your roleplay, because we're gonna have a little bit of roleplay, and I don't want you to feel like, what do I do? Just kind of put it through those lenses. And once we leave the Shadowfell, that sense of that despair that it's given you is what these are called. These are called Shadowfell despairs. The last thing we saw looking out on the town of Shadowdeep, the city in ruins, drifting in thick clouds of ash. Its sky a smothered black starless landscape that smoke and ash seem to rise up to. Not necessarily from flame. You don't see any like fires. There is no color in this place. There is no light. The best that happens is that you see creatures and different things moving through that maybe have natural abilities, but most of the things that live in this place have dark vision and are good at being hidden. So this place is just kind of like super. Just imagine like as if everything in this space has it's on the grayscale except for you guys. And really, like as you pull out a torch or like shine your lights or whatever, do your magic lights, that color seems to leach from you and turn even gray as you stand in this space. Your eyes constantly readjusting, the light kind of being bright again and then being pulled down. It's just
I'm imagining like charcoal, like sketching or something like that.
That's cool.
So you see off in the distance, the last thing we saw, other than the area between you, up on the hill on the other side of town, across from the castle ward where you are right now, in the City of the Dead, which is the just basically like in Waterdeep. Waterdeep proper, it's like a beautiful park. It's a giant graveyard full of mausoleums, but it's like also Central Park of Waterdeep. So like it's a place people go to eat picnics, even though it's also like they go and eat with their families. It's not like a creepy weird place. This, on the other hand, looks terrifying. You can't really see much in the distance except where the statue of the giant wizard should be. There's a giant wizard that stands with his staff, the staff of Agamemnon or whatever his name is. It's that wizard. He's standing there. Instead, standing, its hands outstretched, is a 60-foot tall statue of Minerva that, with smoke rising from its hands and eyes. The only thing that it only really strikes. At first, everyone's like, "Oh my god, what's that?" And then, as you're getting closer with your superior dark vision, at the end of the last episode, it would have been like, "Oh, that's me." You know, like you would have been the first person to like see that and recognize it. As the session starts, we find all of you guys exploring the town. I don't know if at what pace would you act? Are you trying to get like beeline it to that statue? Or are you interested in like moving through these areas? Are you trying to be stealthy? Are you? Because if you guys like because half of you can fly. So if you just
like we'd go to the statue, or at least that's where I would be going.
Yeah, I'm just trying to say like how much attention do you want to draw to yourself while you do it?
No, I don't think I'd go very fast because apathy.
Yeah.
And also,
I plan on playing it pretty stealth.
Yeah.
Rather than like I don't know
like
this
I'm just gonna
environment.
be drawn there, but not.
Okay, let's just do a group stealth check. Let's say that you guys
Focus in my environment.
go on foot.
Sorry, guys.
No.
Say sorry now.
Sorry in advance.
Say sorry now.
Same disadvantage.
Oh, fuck!
Awesome.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I'm gonna roll that again. So it seems that everybody did pretty well.
What'd you roll?
16.
It's worse.
34.
What?
If I can look over there.
What? I have a 7 plus 17 modifier.
Yeah, you do.
What?
Yeah, you do.
What?
I rolled a 6.
You need another one?
No, I'll roll another one.
I rolled a 16.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Non-nat 20.
Okay, you, after moving through the streets, dead silent, nothing but every once in a while you hear like the sound of a shrill scream or a horrifying like monster noise, and they're always kind of off in the distance or like coming from around a corner. So as you are moving through this space, you guys keep moving. You get about halfway through the city, you notice that a swarm of rats have been following you for about a quarter mile. And they are moving with the shadows.
That's odd.
And you're able to duck into an alleyway. You grab everybody up and you grab the shield as close as you can. And you're like, just please, old friend. And he's like, I'm trying. He's not doing well in this space. His magic is disconnected. He's not connected to the mountain. So edges out just enough of his anti-detection magic as 6 vampires kind of like this all floating in air just kind of scoot by the alleyway, and swarms of rats. I'm talking 100,000 rats follow them. It's not a shadow that was following you, but like an actual and they all run over you guys.
Droves of rats.
Literally over you.
Oh boy.
So you are going to take some damage as they move through your space. If I can find them. Where did I put you, little rats? I have you printed on a sheet. There you are. All right. Is everybody's AC?
17.
16.
17? 16.
18.
All right, everybody but Selah gets just like chewed up and just kind of. These rats aren't smart, so they don't recognize that you're there or like bad or like not. But they're climbing over everything, this wave, and they just scratch and like claw over you as they occupy your space. And they'll do a little damage. Not very much. They'll do 10 piercing damage as they run over you. If you took damage, roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Wait, did
Or
I take
wisdom
damage?
saving throw. You
Or
did not.
Okay.
Make me a wisdom saving throw, sorry.
Wisdom save?
I have to make a wisdom save?
If you got hit.
Everyone but Bryce.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I have disadvantage on
21.
All your brain ones.
I have them on every.
Not your...
No, I have them on everything.
you just have them on your skills
I lied.
and...
I wrote it down on everything. I'm sorry. Last time. But I'll erase mine.
That's what made me think that I had the madness and that he had.
Why are you arguing with me, Jimmy?
I know, you're right. I'll do it exactly how you said it earlier.
No, just keep it. Just keep the disadvantage. Just what?
Punishment.
No, just what we've already established.
yeah.
What we
we
established is
established
canon.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, that's fine.
So a disadvantage on. Anyway.
You just have a disadvantage on it.
I'm rolling a con save right now, right?
No wisdom.
Okay.
I am.
As the rats crawl and scratch over you, it takes everything in your might to not let out a sound that would let these vampires know that you're near them. So as they're
Oh,
scratching.
the vampires didn't see it.
No. They look down the alleyway. You're all like tucked and like in the darkness, and the shield's just like pushing out, and they just kind of like, all right, and they move on. And as they do, this swarm of rats.
I've got a now one here.
Oh.
Oh no.
Wait, can't you do the thing?
Yeah, he can
Oh yeah.
use his
Gobble,
luck,
gobble, gobble.
correct?
Yep, it's gone. Consider it.
Roll this guy.
I'm lucky, so you're lucky.
Didn't really
I don't know
matter.
how it works. I don't understand it.
I'm gonna use a luck point.
Do it, baby.
Goodness fucking gracious.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just gonna be bad.
Shadowfell sucks.
4.
Trevor's down here.
We're gonna die.
It'd be worth it. It'd be a really interesting ending.
We'll never see how
I
it's
use an indomitable and a,
Wait, that's
it's a luck
me.
point.
All right, what'd you roll?
rolling a con right now, or wisdom?
Wisdom. With disadvantage.
I don't know. That's what I'm telling you now, so you can like think of the wording.
Gotcha.
That might be a wise way to use it.
22.
Right. Yeah.
What'd you roll?
Quattro.
Okay.
It's gonna suck.
What'd you roll?
He didn't have to.
Okay. What'd you
15.
21.
As the rats all move past you, you
We're gonna get in a fight because of you guys.
you like all see Halleck's not okay. Halleck is like the dread of, right. We gave you dread, right? That's the so the dread is like washing over him, and he looks more human than you've seen him.
No.
Everyone, make me a strength check
I don't.
against
I don't know.
Halleck
Ah!
to stop him from freaking out. Halleck, you have advantage on this check.
No.
Can I
Ah!
get my? Can I get at 20 strength before I do?
Because these rats, they will show me mortality.
Turn this-
Ah! Ah!
Everybody grab him.
Oh fuck! I'm gonna use a hero point.
Use
Oh fuck!
Yeah,
use my
I
last
used
hero
mine
point.
too, Jesus.
Come on, please.
Oh Jesus, guys!
Shit! I rolled 2 8s.
I have 1 hero point left.
I have nothing.
Oh my god.
Who's trying to go straight,
Oh
dude?
my god.
I have 20.
It's gotta be. It's a group check against him.
Oh
What'd you
my
roll?
god! I didn't roll
I'm rolling
higher
with
than a
advantage.
5. I used 7 hero points.
13.
I shouldn't have 7 hero points. I know, but I do.
Well, you can't use all 7 of them.
Well, I know. I didn't. Like I said, I didn't roll higher than 5.
So it's no big deal.
We're gonna die.
So I'm gonna keep
You're
rolling.
good.
All right, I rolled a 13.
All right.
I rolled a 12. I think that was the other highest.
I rolled an
13.
What is
It's my strength
It's a
check.
strength check, right?
Oh yeah.
What happened here?
Come
rolled-
on.
It's gonna be
I
Sayla.
rolled
Sayla's
a
just gonna like
13.
put
13.
me down.
Yeah. I just rolled badly.
You rolled a 13.
I rolled a 13.
All right, that's fine. 2 of you are able to get his arms and get his mouth.
Thank
I'm like,
goodness.
no. I'm like, no.
I thought it was just gonna be you. You're just gonna like put me down.
As they are like holding you down, and the rats continue to crawl over you guys, and the vampires are now out of the space of being able to hear you all together. It takes a moment, and you kind of regain yourself, but you're gonna take a level of exhaustion.
Oh god.
Damn it!
All right.
Damn these rats!
Yeah, but you have to fight vampires, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Disadvantage on ability checks?
Oh my god.
Oh, fuck.
Excuse me?
You have disadvantage on every.
I already had.
Oh.
He did already have that.
Save all your luck for
That sucks.
Alex.
That sucks, baby. It sucks, little baby.
That's Hollywood, baby.
That's Hollywood, baby.
That is.
That's Shadowfell,
That's
baby.
Shadowfell.
That is showtime.
So as you make your way up to the
Showbiz.
the city of the dead, you see that
What?
almost the
Yeah.
entirety of what is this supposed to be this beautiful, like almost theme park-esque park is just completely like overturned. It's not even that. It's just like it's tilled soil. It's as if the soil was so used to things erupting from it that it never had a chance to grow over. So it's like a big battlefield. It looks like a World War I battlefield with all the rolling and there's these big trenches and ravines where there should be mausoleums and like different
Just
crypts.
looks like shells.
And it's
just
all
like,
been ripped out of the ground. And as you get closer, you see the only thing in this whole area now is the statue, that the bottom half of which it was a different statue at one point, like literally destroyed, and then magic reformed the top of it to make it look like you. But as you get closer, everybody roll me a dex save.
Hey, I can do these.
I'm pretty good at that.
I'm really bad at this.
Except.
Yeah, I'm really bad at this.
Except disadvantage.
I'm really bad at this.
Oh god. I'm gonna use my new feat that I found online, Human Determination, which gives me.
It's not a real feat.
I thought you said we could use stuff we found.
It has to be from. Is it from Unearthed Arcana or was it from D&D Wiki?
I don't think it was from D&D Wiki.
Okay, if it's not from D&D
It just
Wiki,
gives me an advantage on any attack, save,
Okay.
attack or save.
Yeah, you can have like once per day.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
You do not like this.
It's just
I
not.
don't have to do it.
No, it's fine. You should just
I'll
you
get a
never.
different
I.
feat.
It's just a new thing. You're your own player now, and you look at resources without me. We just we never talked about it.
That's why I said the name of the thing out loud.
Because it's just not from any of the.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the
It was, no, it would just be like if it's just like when someone's
just
like, I want to play
VHS.
I want to play this. Okay, it's from Under Earth Arcana. That's fine. Yeah, we can use that. That's fine.
I was just looking for more human feats because there aren't a whole lot, and I was kind of bored.
There's one.
Prodigy. And
Yeah,
Xanax.
there's
It's
one.
the best one.
There's one human feat.
It's
That's
really
why,
good. It's a
that's why
really
you
good
couldn't
feat.
find anymore.
Oh.
That's why I reacted that way because
Oh.
there is only one human feat. But I have said
I
in the,
get it.
but I have said in the past that you can use Under Earth Arcana. So
Okay.
those are all totally cool.
Okay.
Totally.
I just
cool.
need to know.
It just-
It's like if I'm the professor, I'm just asking for the citation. That's all.
Gotcha.
You can totally bring it to the
Under
table.
Earth
I just see my
Arcana.
start. Yeah.
Under Earth Arcana is.
Yeah,
pretty on
it's
point.
fine.
Sounds
Yeah.
nice.
That's that sounds balanced. That sounds fine. So you would give yourself
So,
advantage.
I'm gonna give myself advantage on that.
Nice. You need it, baby.
Great.
Baby.
I just have disadvantage all the time.
21.
I'm just thinking about this.
All right. You
21 on my save.
well, I'll describe what happens as we go through. What?
15.
Okay.
10.
13.
You're
Fucking
fine.
deck saves.
Right.
16.
You roll.
but I don't know if I'm that fine.
16. Uh-oh.
I know. I rolled really bad.
What did you roll?
13.
So, as you guys are all looking around at the space, all of your eyes are drawn up to the statue, except for Selah, who's like she's just being so vigilant. She's ready for zombies and skeletons. like what is
Seems
this place?
natural in this
Yeah, what is
area.
this place? She's scanning the ground.
I'm using divine.
There,
sense.
you all look up. As you look up, you notice that the statue, without moving, its head is tilted down,
Oh fuck.
and its eyes are now burning, glowing embers. The first light you've seen since you've been here, and it starts to illuminate the entire field with light. When it does that, its face, the visage of it, the shadow, you can see through to the carving, and it's just a skull. There is no likeness of yourself. It's just through your hair, kind of matted on the top of it. You're all looking. Almost instantly, the statue pulls out of the ground behind it a giant object made of this it's a ziggurat. It's a building. It's a big ancient temple. One of those
Step
pyramids.
What you're talking about,
I
yeah.
noticed that, yeah.
And it's got a chain attached to the bottom of it.
What?
And her body, the body of the statue gets wrapped up with chains.
It's a ziggurat.
And in an
It's a
instant,
ziggurat.
Okay, yeah, go
as an instant, it flings it down impossibly quick. It is.
It's
The
magic.
building flips the statue.
The
down?
statue flips the building on a
building.
chain.
It's a
like
ziggurat.
like a
The
giant
statue's
flag.
attacking us with a building.
Yes.
He said
Okay,
it's a ziggurat.
I thought the building was
No.
flipping, and I'm like,
That's crazy.
yeah.
That's crazy.
That's
No.
nuts.
That's silly.
No, that's silly.
That's what your statue is. Right?
Yeah. So the statue,
Your statue. I forgot it was your statue.
yeah.
This is a huge Minerva.
As it
It
flies
means it.
down, you guys all oh shit.
Oh.
And you all push each
Can I
other.
use my deck save to push her out of the way?
No. I mean, no. Do you have any hero points? Not technically.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Do you-
Bring it on, man.
Yeah, if you have 2 hero points. If you guys have 2 hero points, I'll let you. No? No takers? Okay.
I have none. Yeah.
Yeah. I
You
just
have
don't
one?
know why I'd give it to you, but it's my
fair.
apathy. It's my
Fair
apathy. It's
Oh,
not
I
you.
was like, what the fuck, man?
In character.
It wouldn't
Okay.
matter anyway.
No, it was
she
so
says.
good. You just you delivered it so well.
You giving him 2?
Yeah.
All right, you can use Jimmy's score.
It's very
Yeah.
apt.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Character.
So,
She'll use yours.
apt
I was
apathy.
Okay,
built
cool.
for
Dope.
this.
yeah.
App,
So
app.
he's like
Thank you.
Sailor, and you run and you
My strength is still 20, by the
Oh
way.
yeah, for sure.
So everybody can visualize. My bad.
you're running and
That's
you're
funny.
you probably can't in your head be that's probably fake, but I'm still gonna save her from it. And you leap and you pull just in time, and the entirety of the ziggurat slams down upside down from the way it should be. So it's instead of being doop 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 doop, it's
Converted.
Inverted triangle, yeah.
Yeah.
and
Upside down
and as it hits the ground, it cracks in half like a Kinder egg, just like, and and as it does that, the statue falls over.
I don't know. Not all American.
Its giant head resting, and the chain wrapping around, and effectively forming a really nice little barrier. Obviously,
it's a ring.
You guys can fly out of it. I mean,
sure.
you are high-level characters,
But come on.
But for setting the scene, this is
Nice.
It's an arena.
it's
a
the
boss
arena.
fight!
Yeah. And as the ash kind of
At least you didn't die.
passes, you see shadow
Yeah,
like
thank you.
dry ice pouring out of the cracked ziggurat. And as you guys get closer with your guard on, ever vigilant,
Oh, I got my guard on.
got your guard on, weapons out, you see inside,
Jump on my parachute.
now laying in the field, a figure.
No, you have wings. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're just not going to know what's happening again, and
No, I
I'm not
know.
going to let people save you.
What?
Burn.
Ow.
Everybody roll me a perception.
I don't know anything.
You can have advantage, Minerva.
I have to know working for me.
Oh, hey, I actually know
Yeah.
something this time. That's fun.
21.
Cool.
16.
Mm-hmm.
19.
Mm-hmm.
19.
5.
Okay. Everyone notices, even those of us who have our heads in books,
It tripped on my skirt.
as you look, the dust clears on the ground, wrapped in chains and semi-suspended by them in the air, kind of like wrapping back up into shadow, is Minerva.
What?
Another Minerva? So
I don't
now
know.
there's 3
Is she
Minerva?
see-through?
There's the big statue
ghosty?
Minerva is now like crumbled over and is no more.
Okay.
Inside the ziggurat, there is,
Kinder egg.
I would argue, a Minerva that looks more Minerva than you do at this point.
Right.
This Minerva,
Freak shadowy.
this Minerva is not fading out of existence.
Ooh.
She is, she has been like, she is like naked, but it's tasteful. She's covered in chains, so she's like wrapped up and like cannot be seen.
Completely down.
And she's crying. She's sobbing. She's lying there sobbing.
This is why it doesn't matter.
Is
That's,
that real?
That's what's gonna
Minerva.
happen.
Minerva.
Lovely.
No.
Obviously, we must get it free.
Free it or kill it.
Why, obviously, sir.
Free it or kill it.
I think we should leave her.
Roll
I think
me
we should find a place
No, I want to ask.
away from here.
I just try to ask
What
you.
did you roll in your
how do you
perception?
feel? What's going on? Who is this?
19. Roll a wisdom save.
With disadvantage. 16, 15.
Minor difference.
Alright. 22.
Yeah, because he's like, you guys want to save that giant spider?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Spider.
It's
What?
Not, it's not a giant spider.
No, I know. He thinks.
No.
And then after they're like, what are you talking about? You look again.
What do
You
you-
see it's a girl. You see it's Minerva.
Minerva?
Yeah.
So you're just having a harder time. Things are just like you're starting to see things starting to get real fishy, real dicey for you, real dicey for you.
I'm looking
Nice.
to Minerva right now to see how she's reacting or feeling or like,
Right.
who is this?
The Minerva that's chained to the air, as she kind of just like suspended there, like hunched over, crying. She keeps whispering, "Vessel, vassal, victim." These 3 words, and then she keeps like stumbling over them and be like, "He's gonna get me. He's gonna hurt. He's gonna hurt." It's like talking, like mumbling. She's not aware of your presence being around her. Basically, you can tell that she's in some sort of like trance.
Vessel, vassal, victim.
Roll a religion. Roll a
Insight?
history. Nope.
I don't know this shit.
My history's pretty good. 19 history?
those terms, you were like, where do I know those from?
Sound, or babbling sound.
You're like, they're
familiar.
from. That's from a ritual, but what
is it?
Non nat 20 history.
You've heard of not those words specifically, but what languages do you speak?
Common, gnomish, goblin, celestial, draconic.
In celestial, which is why it also once she says it sparks something in your mind. She's saying that those are the counter words, or like the good words for their dark speech counterparts, and they have something to do with like elder gods, and then you both like at the same time are like the patient one.
But
That does not sound good.
This is all the work of the
divine sense. I know it's only 60 feet, but that's what she would do.
Wait,
You're sensing.
For fiends,
Maven,
undead.
patron.
Is that who that is?
Yes.
Have a hero point for joining the conversation.
This
Take it.
this has
Okay.
this has
I might
all
need
to
I
do.
need it.
This,
I wanna need it.
I'm gonna need
this has all to do with your sister.
Money.
Why do these things keep coming back to your sister?
I wouldn't put anything past
Off the
her.
charts, man. That is a fiend. That thing in front of you is a fiend.
And I let everyone know, I'm like, that is foul.
That sweet, sweet witchy sister
Minerva,
over
make me
there.
a wisdom saving throw,
No,
please.
that's not what that
I
is.
believe you. I believe you.
Yeah, Sayla's getting all.
8.
As you're all kind of like you're getting a read on it, Minerva walks closer, but not close enough that not within like 5, 10, maybe like still 20 feet away from it.
I'm gonna stay right behind her.
Okay, cool. You just kind of get up behind her, and you kind of kneel down so you can be. Even though she's suspended, she's very close to the ground. Her head's like floating, like right off the ground, and she's in a fetal position, kind of like floating, suspended. The chain's chained to the ground through the ground, so she's bound here. And then those chains floating, they seem to go up to where the statue was holding its hand, but this place is just a bunch of fuckery. So.
Right.
In your mind, you hear her crying, and you feel fear. You feel, but not like game effect fear. You feel like connection with the real emotion, and connection with this like thing in this space, and your Shadowfell despair is gone.
Interesting. I'll take it.
Are
You
we
hear-
gonna kill that thing?
You hear it whisper to itself.
No, it's not my decision to make.
I wouldn't attack anything right now. I just want to leave.
We're not going anywhere, Alec.
We have to leave.
Is it a
Alec,
trick?
stop.
It's just a trick. Don't fall for it. Run away.
We will die here.
Alec, don't leave. Don't.
I'm getting the fuck out of here!
Are we gonna kill that thing?
Do we need to?
Isn't it a fiend?
Is it?
Are we leaving?
Are we?
Are we fighting?
My vote
She
is to
needs
leave.
Help.
She looks up when you say that, her eyes making eye contact with you. She goes, "You're here." She says, "It's your fault. It's your fault that I've been in so much pain." And as she says that, she rises, the chains pulling her up. You hear a clicking, click, 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 click. The chains on the bottom constricting.
No, no. Are we killing this?
Silent Hill
citizens?
ass me
Yeah.
bullshit.
There are no mechanisms, though. Just the violentness of the... And she kind of pulls up, and her hands, you can see, bound and chained. Roll me... You both roll really high on that last one. As soon as you see the chains, you know that the patient one is also known as the chained god.
What?
Can I roll an insight to see how much I believe her?
Same.
Roll with advantage.
That's a fiend.
Both of you. Because you
already know.
My sisters.
It's literally the god.
I don't know.
And
What do we do? Is there like a storm? I imagine there's a storm. It's the shadow.
it's just this like rolling black smoke and ash.
I'm gonna make a high
24.
check.
Do it. What?
18.
18. I mean, you know you're you, right? So
That's not helpful.
So, no matter how convincing the copy, maybe you aren't. Sayla, how long does your divine sense last? 1 round?
I don't know. Give me 1 second.
1 second. It only lasts
You
1
don't
second.
have 1 second.
You have 1 second.
Taking my shot.
All right, 1 second before I'm gonna let this resolve, and then you can.
Till the end of my next turn.
Fine. I'll give you this much.
Mm-hmm.
She looks, and you're like scanning, and you see, oh, that's a fiend, and then she stands up. It's you, and you look down. She's also giving off fiend vibes.
What's going on? And then
They're both scanning as each, both humanoid and they're flickering. So as your divine sense ends, you kind of maybe step back.
They're morphing into the same.
You want to go ahead and make your attack?
They
You
all
said.
have the same.
He was doing a high check.
Well,
No,
I
you
was thinking-
had to attack.
I was thinking about
What was your high check?
27.
All right. There's plenty of little like rocks and things to hide behind up close to it. Do you want to attack?
I'm so sorry. I rolled a 24 on my insight on
That
this
was
fiend. Oh, I'm sorry.
That was all for you.
I'm
That was
sorry,
For both
okay.
of you.
Then
Yeah.
cool.
You know your sister, and
Right.
this looks like her, but you're high level
Yes.
magic users who are like, I don't trust this.
Yeah.
But then Sayla had a bit of like a WTF moment.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just this place.
Mm-hmm.
So want to make your attack with her?
I'm readying an action.
What's your action? I mean, what's the trigger?
I'm taking a shot at the fiend if she does anything.
Okay. So
You have
if
Mage Slayer, right? If it's a caster, you can just react.
I do have Mage Slayer.
We both do.
whenever you can use your reaction. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can still. I mean, you can use your full attack action if you reserve your action. So.
Right.
So if something tries to attack her or she tries to attack.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are cool triggers. Okay. Cool. So you're hiding back there. You guys, what are you finding? Crossbow.
I've got a short crossbow, right? It's a light crossbow.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm doing.
Sorry,
Sorry, I haven't shot that thing in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my dread bow to refortify like my arm class. And I'm gonna.
Cool.
Doesn't your fucking bow hit on a 15 or 20 Vorpal?
Yeah, dude.
Fiends.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. I'm terrified though.
I need to
As of
defend
right
myself.
now, honestly, you can like if you don't interact with this thing, it's only like it just keeps talking to you, and if you step away from it, you specifically does not interact with anyone else. It might look mournfully at you, but it only speaks to you. And as soon as you walk if you walk out of a 10-foot radius of it, it just goes back to sobbing and it pulls itself back to the ground. And once you keep saying, it's saying, you can save me. You can save us. Just take my place.
Absolutely not.
But
Off we go.
I'm trying to read if it's a part of me, and because you said it's not fading, and I'm concerned that if we just jump in and kill it, I will die.
Right.
Because it's more
you
me
know
than me.
you know that your essence has been slipping into the Shadowfell.
Yeah.
So
That's my whole why
yeah.
I'm not just jumping into
bingo
attack.
bango. Yeah, have a hero point. There is
It is kind of you.
there is
It's more me than me.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we really do need to save it.
Vessel, vassal, victim. Vessel, vassal.
You have a tiny
Victim.
hut, don't you?
I have a private sanctum scroll. I don't have a hut, but someone does. Doesn't someone have a hut?
How do you not? You have every spell. Isn't that a wizard
Well,
spell?
they just may not be. It may not be prepared.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is not on here.
Okay.
But.
You don't want to take a tiny rest. You want to take a rest.
No. My
What do you
plan
wanna
was
do?
to disintegrate the chains and trap it.
Trap it. I could trap it another way. I have imprisonment.
I can create a magical restraint to hold this creature.
I mean, I think it's pretty clear that it's already restrained. I mean, it's trapped.
Yeah, but not by our binds. Or,
No,
Yeah,
that's true.
okay.
I mean,
it's made.
so
Can you talk to it more?
It wants me to take its place, he said. I don't know.
So it kind of says unprompted as it kind of like cries and
If
whispers.
you take its place,
you
will
can
you
try
be
to talk
whole
to it if
again?
you want to.
I don't know.
Augury. If she takes its place, will she be saved? If this Minerva takes chained Minerva's
Yeah, you don't
place.
have to worry about augury spells in as far as like wording.
Oh, okay.
It's not
Well,
like,
I was just
it's like a
clarifying
wish
for
spell.
you.
Yeah, there's no monkey spell there. Will and woe. Good and bad. It's both things.
Okay.
As it would be.
Sure, sure.
This is part of you. You'll lose.
That is
because
no
you'll
one's
gain
choice to
message.
make
Yep.
but your own, Minerva.
Because, I mean,
It starts
might lose
talking
some of
to
those
you.
cool shadowy.
It starts trying to guilt you.
That's,
It's changing its tactic.
Don't
that's
trust
what
As
she's
it.
it
gotta be running
cries,
right now.
its eyes like looks like mascara running, but you see that it's actually like shadow pulling out of its eyes, running down its face.
That's fucking creepy.
And it says to you that
God.
that you knew
place is gothic.
you knew I was here, and yet you ran
place so
around
bad.
in the material world while I
So
suffered. You don't deserve to
Shit,
be
no
alive.
shit.
Do I
This is-
feel like this is myself talking to me?
You're you.
Okay. Yeah. No, this is me.
You're you.
We're talking to her.
That's a different you.
That all.
No.
There is.
I
I'll say this for you. I'll say this for you in the
Rather.
metagame. There is no way for your character. This is a purely like a your
Oh.
gut situation
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing. So there's no way of knowing
personal
whatever you want to do is going to.
I feel like I would genuinely think this is me. This is where it's been going.
Yeah. Yeah, this
Because
is
roll,
it is what I
yeah.
think.
So as soon as you start hearing that, roll an insight. As soon as you start like having that
Yeah,
thought.
for sure.
I back away. For
I
real.
also back away.
Yeah, I back away.
I'm just
like,
beginning to step
13.
away.
Yeah,
And I pulled Del with me.
maybe
I'm gonna re-roll that. I need a better answer than that. Maybe,
You don't have to,
maybe.
yeah, you do.
Are you walking closer to her in this moment?
No, I don't think so. I'm so like I feel like I know what it is, but I don't know for sure. Cause they're just like fiend.
Yeah.
But I also know I'm wholly not a fiend.
Yeah, of course.
Motherfucker.
You want
Here.
a hero point?
It's a
I have some
1,
too.
so I can
Yeah.
roll it for halfling shit.
She's like, I'm taking your resources.
Give me that
I have
shit.
a question.
I have an answer.
Can I cast that on Minerva? Take one of
Do you
mine.
need a hero point?
No, we're good now. We're good now.
Yeah, for sure.
27 insight.
20 what?
7.
Doubt.
That's what I needed.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is legitimacy to what is being told to you, but it is speaking in half truths, and it is accusing you of things that you haven't done or you don't remember doing. So now the problem is you're starting to like, as it's speaking, you're like, is this like, am I remembering things, or is it putting things inside my head? But do you want to go ahead and do your
I
thing?
do. If
Yeah.
you're kind of close to me, I'd like to just like, I'm not trying to take her focus or anything.
No, just.
But I'd like to just reach out and like grab her hand,
Mhm.
and I utter some
Like someone
rhyming.
praying for someone else's
Uh-huh.
church.
Yeah, praying for someone
She
else's
starts an
church.
incantation,
And
and
I
as
do like a rhymey kind
Yeah.
of spell, and I want to cast Mind Blank on you, which means you're immune to psychic damage and any effect that would sense your emotions or read your thoughts, divination spells, and charmed conditions. So the spell foils with. Oh wait, the spell even foils wish spells, And spells or effects with similar power used to affect the target's
It's a
mind
very
or gain
powerful,
information.
very
For
powerful.
24 hours.
Yeah, for 24 hours that lasts. So spend
Mind blank.
So spend your 8th level
Can't fucking
spell
read
slot.
me.
Have a hero point for using mind blink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a great way
And
to
when
use
that
it,
happens,
too.
Yeah,
when that
don't
happens,
fuck with her brain.
Your doppelganger is speaking about how you didn't even trust Meryl and how the night that it happened, you knew that you were committing to this, and you start to see these you're like, maybe I did, maybe I wasn't, like, it's my fault that I'm the way I am, and I've been, and then as soon as she casts that, they push out of your mind, and you've got a sense of focus again, and this thing is not telling you the truth, but if this is specifically the work of the patient one.
Yeah, that's what Meryl is kind of like, is screaming inside her head, is that, like, don't fall for it, Minerva. You didn't do anything.
But remember,
this is the work of the patient one.
Remember, though.
And this is Maven.
Remember, though, that Maven used the power of the patient one. How you got into this predicament in the first place was through its magic.
Yeah.
So this is the cause. This thing that's in front of you is the cause of your situation.
The derivative magic source.
And you, here in this moment, choose how your character goes beyond this, because it's like an unfortunate fact of your existence. So this is you, but it is also not you.
Okay.
It is also evil. Vessel, vassal, victim. There are 3 sisters, and each of you have to be one of these. They call them the 3 pole, which is what you remember. You guys are like, I like the idea you're kind of like throwing this like celestial lore back at each other, like
we're having an intellectual discussion.
The Theapole, that's what it is. The Theapole are like artifact memories, and each of the sisters, because of Maven's actions, made you the 3 pole, and you're like the patient one, and then you remember his first name. Thrazadun is the name of the patient.
What does vassal mean?
A vassal is like a cleric, is like someone who works on the behalf of something. The vessel would be like a physical body.
I feel like you're the victim then, because I feel like I'm the vessel.
You're the vessel.
But right now you could be either.
Right.
I don't know.
True patient.
It's,
name one more time. Sorry.
You could be victim right now.
The true patient one. The
be.
true name of the patient one.
Thar, Thar,
True.
Zidun. Thrazadun. Thrazadun.
She's the vassal.
Yeah.
But you're roll me both of you roll me arcans. Just roll me some good old fashioned magic checks as you are conspiring.
14.
I got you, girl.
Cool. Add it up. 28. Go.
These prophecies never work the way you think they do.
Cool.
And although things are predicted and fate has chosen courses of action, you still have free choice and you still have free will. Right. So you are one of those 3, but they are not set in stone yet.
I like that. Okay.
Take your body back.
But
no one. Yeah, I was gonna say no one can make this choice but you.
If you make Maven into the victim slot and then you kill her, you help further along the patient one's plans.
That makes perfect sense.
So it's all about sorting these things right now.
I think you kind of have to be the victim. I can't be the victim, and if she is, that's not what we want either.
If you give in, if you agree to this thing's terms, you know for a fact
Switching places with it?
you become the vessel.
Well, I ain't doing that. I ain't switching places.
She's not doing it.
Good, that's my main
Should you do it?
thing.
Everybody roll your initiative.
Oh yeah, yo.
Oh.
And fight.
It's that time.
It can't read your mind, but it can read a room.
I go last.
Non-nat 20.
18.
Do or die. Right now.
16.
Yes, girl.
5. 21.
Did you roll with disadvantage?
I don't have it anymore.
Oh yeah, nice.
Oh, what'd I say?
16?
Suck it.
Yeah.
18.
What'd you say?
21.
21. All right. You get to go first.
Alert.
Then the monster
I
gets
never
to
get
go.
to go first.
Ooh.
And that makes
you
sense.
You do, but you don't fight when you
are
go first.
you are
Yeah.
waiting for a sign, and we'll just role play that this is how this worked out. Is like
That
you're all
read.
talking, and before anyone notices, you see that
You want to fight this?
it's your brain. You're like, maybe I'm wrong.
I'm mad. I have this
You see,
madness.
instead
I'm
of a girl,
Right.
instead of a girl wrapped in chains, you see a horrible ball of flesh
Rainy.
with 50 mouths,
Yeah.
60 eyes, that is oozing blood and like
Ugh.
bile into the ground, and the ground underneath it is burning hot and seeping down. And for a moment, you're like, "Oh my god, I'm going crazy," and then you
Right.
realize you're the only person that's seeing this thing the way it
Yeah.
looks. So go ahead and
Come here.
make your attack.
Rainy, come here.
I'm gonna get as many licks as I can.
Gosh. I know, you can't even walk straight because your butt's wiggling so fast.
I'm sorry.
She loves these bows.
15 to hit.
Bows.
15 does not hit.
Oh, no.
As you fire the bow, fire your bolt, it aims true. You hit it into like a patch of like hair, fur,
Yeah, it's hard
and
to
the
crit.
bolt just gets pulled inside of
Gross.
it. And it does like let out a shriek, but it's not like a "ooh, you hurt me" shriek. It's like a "hey, everybody," and you all look, and then you
I
can
take
see
my
it.
second action.
Okay, cool.
I reload my crossbow with my fast hands. I don't remember how crossbows work.
It is. You just have to have a bonus action open to. You don't have to. No. It's a reloading action, so you can only if you have 2 attacks, you can only take 1 attack a turn. That's what it is.
Okay.
You can't do multiple attacks with a turn. That's all.
Oh, for
So this
for
is
crossbow?
Yeah.
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 So this is just a different action.
Yeah.
I
So
can-
yeah, it's just like it's part of the action.
Unless
You're
it's a
loading.
small crossbow,
Yeah. You're.
handbow.
Yeah.
Right, it isn't. It's a lot.
Yeah. So
I'm just gonna take my second.
go for it. Connect 4.
Nat 1. That's natural. 22 to hit.
22 hits.
Stick 'em.
Can I retroactively use my sneak or my bonus action to have hidden?
You already had before the turn.
Yeah, but I missed my shot, so I was.
Oh, I get you.
Since
Go
it's
ahead and roll
your
that. Yeah, roll that check.
Gotcha.
Let's see. He's aware of you now.
Heavy as the die.
Rolling like me, bro.
Do you want an inspiration or a hero point?
Yes, please.
Take one of my arrows, sir.
Very cool. 33. High check.
In your head, in the voice of your mother, you hear, "Trying to hide, naughty boy." You were not hidden.
Not
No.
Ouch.
It's creepy. I hate it.
That hurts.
But the 22 did hit, so.
Yes.
Roll your damage.
That hurts.
That is. He's so freaked out. Man.
It's creepy.
He hasn't seen his mom in a minute.
Right, that just like dawns on you and then
Yeah, I
there's a
know.
random
10
moment.
damage.
Oh, dope.
10
I love
damage.
Yeah, and you can see that, like, because your bolts aren't magical,
No.
and they do not do as much damage. You're like, I'm gonna have to get in close. God damn.
I gotta go stab.
You gotta go stab this fucking thing. But he still takes 5 damage. So yeah, you got that going for you. All right.
So we are trying to kill this copy of.
This thing has
thing's
gone
copy of
aggressive,
Minerva? Okay.
and as soon as he saw it shift,
I feel like I would decide too. As well.
Totally.
basically,
I mean, I'm basing.
It's me or it. Is
you
what I
said
right.
you said I'm not going to be the victim here.
And then it's like,
Yeah.
whoa,
But
motherfucker!
Yeah, you said no. Not gonna be me.
Well, you're not going to be the vessel here.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to willingly accept this
Yeah.
thing.
Right.
And when it could tell that was not going to happen anymore, it
Oh,
is
that was
going
down about.
to
stay
careen around in its space. So as it moves, it it can move. It is actually not chained. It floats
I like
around.
how the chain. I like to see the chain still in the sky.
It's
maybe?
still in the sky, and it's still like got the chains, but
Yeah, I'm gonna
the
use
chains
that.
rip out of the ground very violently and like skitter, and they like pull it as it like lurches around. It's this big,
This is
floating.
fucking hideous, dude.
I'll show you my photocopied monster because it looks even worse.
Voodoo copy.
Makes
Ew.
sense even.
Gross.
Yeah, this is an incomprehensible like horror.
Yeah.
This is some Lovecraft shit. Sorry.
Make
Dropped
me
the L-bomb,
a.
sorry. Fuck you. Suck it.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I love you.
Sack
I miss
it.
you all the time.
Why?
I don't know, because I
Make
didn't want to throw it at
me-
him, so I was getting him by getting you.
You throw it at the pregnant person?
Well,
Because you
no.
can't throw it at
2
your
for 1.
boyfriend?
Don't let her.
2 for 1.
Don't let her.
2 for 1. I mean, I hit you in the belly, so it was like a headshot.
How big is this
Make
thing?
me an intelligence saving throw. It is
Me?
huge. It's humongous.
many feet
It
high?
looked like a little girl, and now it's
Now it's mongus.
now it's 12 feet.
No,
12
it's
feet.
mongus.
High, 15 up to 15 feet when it floats because it can
No,
hover in the air.
it's mongus.
Oh, it's mongus.
It's mongus.
I'm getting ready for the pirate thing. I haven't decided.
Roll me an intelligence saving throw.
Oh, what?
Nice.
What?
And it makes sense since you have that mind blank cast on
That's
you.
Yeah.
fucking badass.
You can feel that it's trying to attack your mind with something horrible, some sort of
Right.
magic that would have wiped. Like you can feel it, but it just doesn't quite work. And it is going to move closer to you, and it is going
It's the
to
most mediocre roll in Sunday.
attack you. I imagine that like the group of you are kind of clumped together, but as this you were like up front with it, so it's right on top of you. Sayla's right behind it, and you're off on the side, and everyone else was kind of in the wings running up. It is going to squirt bile once,
Gross.
Oh,
and then make 3
Ew.
attacks using either its chain bite or both.
Jesus Christ.
Chain what?
But
Bite or both.
bite.
Oh.
Chain bite or both.
Alright,
Chain bite or both.
Make me a dex saving throw as it runs up to. Wait, is it a targets one creature? Okay, yeah. So it's as it's running up
Good.
to you. You make me a dex saving throw.
Oh.
Yeah, it's shooting past you, and then it's going to with 2 chain attacks, and then it's going to try to hit you and then bite you with one of its horrible mouths. What's your AC again?
One of its horrible mouths.
17. Alright.
The first attack hits.
I've got a shield.
I impose
Shield it.
disadvantage.
Nice.
Ooh.
Well, that's good because that kept it from getting on that 20, I guess.
Noise.
Shield makes your AC what?
Score.
Shield makes me 22.
Deflect that 20.
22.
Deflect that now.
It still hits you.
Ow.
Whoa.
But the shield lasts all round, so it gets another chain attack against you. That one it misses, and then it's going to try to bite you, and it's not going to hit you with bite either. So the shield, the first one hits through, and you kind of push it back, and you're using the magic. Did you make a dex save for me?
I did. It was a 19.
It was 19. You fail. Right as you're like, no, and you're trying to impose it, so you impose this advantage, and then this acidic bile just hits you, and you're going to take a buttload of damage, baby.
Oh shit.
Damn it,
Get it?
baby.
Oh, look at that handful, baby.
Oh.
Ooh.
That's hefty.
It's a hefty handful.
Ooh. Alrighty. That stinks.
We're the fight of our lives, you guys.
You're fine, Tank.
Well, it's not an unending.
Alright, you're going to take 35 damage.
Yeah. You're fine.
35 acid damage. Ooh. And you're gonna take the 1 chain attack. You only get hit once.
What's happening right now?
Horrible things are happening in the town of Oz. Where's my
The
fucking
merry old land
D12?
of Oz.
What kind of damage is this?
This is piercing damage, magical piercing damage. You take 14 chain damage, and then you make me Constitution saving throw, please.
Did you point to me? I'm
I
sorry.
pointed at Dell, Halleck, and Meryl.
Oh. 8.
Don't you have luck?
I have luck.
You have luck.
16.
Okay.
I should have saved my
7.
feet.
Should have, baby.
I should have saved a life or 2.
You're gonna die.
Well, it was fun playing with you guys.
I used
Yeah,
to
this
have
has been a
nine.
really
Right.
nice
I
campaign.
used to have
It's
9.
been alright.
A really
You
nice-
are
It's been alright.
poisoned. You are poisoned. You are poisoned.
Disadvantage.
You have 1 level of exhaustion. 1 level of exhaustion.
2
1
levels
level
of exhaustion.
Fuck that.
Half speed.
And you can, at the end of each of your turns, you can. Let's see.
This
Okay,
place
at the
sucks,
start
guys.
of each of your turns, you get to roll a save. On 3 successful saves, the effect ends and you are immune to it forever.
Cool.
For 24 hours. When you get to, if you don't get to 6 levels of exhaustion, or in your case 7. Also, roll me a D100. Roll me a D100. Roll me a D100.
Oh my god.
Guys,
Sorry, who
I
were those
love
points?
these D100s.
The same people?
I never get to roll. For
What's
some
that?
reason I'm
Is it the
excited.
same people?
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at
okay.
these.
This
Look
is
at
all
them.
part of that
Look
same
at
effect.
Yeah.
So as it reaches out,
Oh,
it's
neat,
like
yeah.
it. You all can kind of feel that it's looking at you without even knowing how. You can feel it inside your mind. And what did you roll?
54.
As all these other things are happening to you, your body starts to warp and
Oh
change.
my god. Oh my god. Your body's changing?
Your
Yes.
arms become
Oh, wait.
tentacles with fingers at the end,
What?
increasing your reach by
Just
5 feet.
More little tentacles.
Wonderful!
Are you like our auto dealership?
Yeah.
I'm a wacky inflatable
Wacky waving inflatable arm
Roll me,
flailing
roll me,
two
what was it,
man.
D100?
58.
5 foot
Wacky
reach.
waving inflatable arm flailing two man. Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing two man. Wacky.
Oh,
Your
my
legs-
God.
mouse waving inflatable arm flailing two.
How like
What?
your
It's
legs
too much. I can't.
start to break
It's a
and
family
then
guy
like
quote.
fold back under and then turn into giant cricket legs.
Oh.
So you got some
That's
jump?
prong. Yeah,
Makes
I get.
sense
Yeah.
Your walking speed increases by 10 feet.
Hey,
so
that's
you guys
cool.
are getting the animal bits.
That kind of negates some of that
Been
exhaustion.
there, done that.
Yeah.
What did you roll?
88.
You said 10, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
88.
Your ears become wings. Little bat wings. Gives you a fly speed of 5.
Nice.
And like it's disorienting, and so you get you get the poison effect, the exhaustion effect, and then like your body is like changing. And now we can see like this thing does not do the stuff that you do.
Right.
This thing is not a shadow monster.
Yeah.
You're getting something else. This is not the patient one. You guys are not fighting the patient one right now. I'm trying to like the patient one would have powers very similar to yours.
Yeah.
You would be drawing something like the patient one is tied into the Shadowfell that you can't remember how, and this is something that's been created from you.
Alex just screaming.
I thought I had something. Get rid of an effect on me.
Just imagine you just rubbing your legs together.
And that babies is its turn.
That sucked.
Let's see.
That just means
who
I'm just
rolled
like wanna
next
get
highest.
jiggy
You
with
were.
it, like rubbing my legs together.
Well,
Well,
that would fucking freak me out and piss me off,
Mhm.
and it's my sister and friends, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna try to disintegrate
I'm
it.
gonna do what you do.
I'm gonna do that
So
thing.
roll me a dex save, but with a disadvantage.
Only a
It has kind of resistance, so it will roll 1 die.
I'm just
Okay.
gonna
It fails, but it chooses to save.
shriek.
Okay.
So the magic hits it, and it just kind of.
Absorbs it.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Does it take half damage still?
No,
No,
on
it's-
disintegration.
No, it's a holy roller kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right, what else are you gonna do?
Well, I will flick him.
this fucking place.
Cricket legs! It's gonna kill me! I like bullet
Some
together.
dread angel you are,
Get your
dude.
shit together.
I just grew wings and now I'm just like a weed bag.
Just running
I was
in a
gonna
circle,
sacrifice
screaming with
myself.
his cricket legs.
Yeah, I was gonna sacrifice myself for my father
He's faster.
the last time. Now I'm
Right.
just like little weed
Yeah,
bag.
a little weird. Just Wilhelm screams over and over again.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try to.
Oh, also, sorry, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. It's supposed to happen at the start of your turn because
Okay.
you're right in front top of it, but it can happen all on top. So do your quicken thing. We'll just do this last.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't
Uh,
wanna end your train of thought, but
chill touching it.
cool.
So I have to make a spell attack.
Cool.
That is a 28.
Just imagine
There's Alec.
that's me. That's me.
That is for
Just
sure.
curdling.
Can I get it? Just 3d8s.
I have
It can't regain hit points if it has a way of doing that.
Here you go. Yeah, for sure.
I am personally being fucked up pretty bad right now. Personally, I don't know about the rest of you guys.
how many hit points?
22?
No, it's just like I'm.
22
I have
damage.
cricket
Yeah.
legs. I have 2 levels
What
of
kind of damage
exhaustion.
is it? Necrotic?
It's necrotic.
I just disadvantage on everything.
I got you. I got you.
Doing a lich slap.
I can't do
It's
stuff.
fine, dude.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Lich
just
slap,
saying.
baby.
No, that's what he's saying. I got you. It's
Oh,
I'm
and
useless
it
here.
has disadvantage against me.
Cool. For how long?
Until the start of mine, or until the end of my next turn.
Cool.
Sail, you gotta
But
sail.
Hmm?
You gotta
I
sail,
think I'm
sail.
gonna do one more thing.
Let's see what I
that
can do. Let's see what I can do.
I'm gonna umbral. So I turn into that shadow. That resists all damage, except for force.
So does that take an action?
I don't think it does. Let me double check, but I think it's just something I can do. Sure.
Well, before that happens, either way, I'm gonna get that con save because that's supposed to happen every turn. So.
Isn't there something that can end an effect?
18.
There's this failure, as you can feel, is this contamination aura around it. Like the very air around it is this caustic, like anti, like boil. It's you're gonna take. You're gonna take 16 acid damage, poison damage.
Can I react to that with that phase shift thing you gave me? I can't remember what that's from. You gave it to me.
Yeah, I think it's
a reaction.
It's a reaction. Yeah.
And it's I just phase take 0 damage, except for psych.
Yeah. Well, that would have been at the start of your turn. Would that affect? Can you cast spells and stuff while you're?
The reaction would have been at the start of my turn. Oh, then okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. So I was supposed to do con save at the beginning.
Yeah. Can you cast and do spells while you're in that form?
I don't know. It's something you gave me.
If I didn't say that you couldn't, then you can. Then
Okay.
yeah, you can have done that.
Cool.
Then you just take no damage.
Take no damage unless it's psychic or necrotic, which psychic can't affect me because of the phase shift. So just necrotic.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Then yeah, well you're safe for this round. How long does that last?
It looks like it's just a one-use reaction
Got you. Well,
because it's once per long
absorbs
rest.
damage. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, cool. Then that's perfectly cool.
Cool.
Yeah, you don't take any damage from that, but you're like, oh shit, it has an aura. Go figure.
Right.
What was the last thing you were gonna do?
The
Yeah,
umbral
umbral.
shadow, but that is a bonus action, and the
Okay.
quickening spell does the bonus
Got you.
action.
Okay, cool.
So.
But yeah, you don't take any damage from that. Who do you want to pass the turn to?
My sister.
Cool. Barrel.
Will you remind me of the effects of what just happened? I took a level of exhaustion and I'm poisoned.
Mm-hmm. Poison means you have disadvantage on skill checks
Okay.
and attack checks.
Okay.
Everything.
So I'll just cast with
Okay.
disadvantage,
Everything.
basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it on it.
Imagine, like quite literally, you're poisoned. It just takes so much more concentration to like
Yeah,
do your stuff
really
because you're
make
like.
it work. Okay, hold on. Can I try? This sounds fun. I would like to cast Prismatic Wall.
Cool.
I can shape this wall into a sphere up to 30 feet in diameter. On a point that I choose within range. Can I get it in there?
Okay, girl.
90 feet long, 30 feet high, 30 feet in diameter.
Yeah, you can definitely.
Centered on it. Okay, cool.
Huge is 15 by 15, so yeah.
Okay.
You can definitely get it.
I think I just cast it.
Yeah, you just cast it.
I just put it there.
And then it like...
If it's occupied, blah, blah, blah.
How long does the spell last?
10 minutes. The wall consists of 7 layers, each a different color. When a creature attempts to reach or pass through the wall, it does so one layer at a time, and each layer has a different effect. The creature must make a dex saving throw or be affected by that layer's property. So if he tries to move through it, he just has to make a dex save.
For each layer.
7 times.
Pretty cool.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
It's like a big rainbow box, and it does all of these different things.
Is it a box?
No. It can be a wall or a sphere.
It's
like
a
a
sphere,
dome
yeah.
is kind of what I'm picturing.
Yeah, it's a dome.
Okay,
Nice.
cool.
It is it's a shimmering,
Oops, upside down.
multicolored plane of light. It lasts for the duration, which is 10 minutes. The wall sheds bright light. If incapacitated, if another creature can see the wall within 20 feet or starts its turn here. Let's see. I don't think this guy can be blinded. No, he cannot be blinded. 7 layers. Destroy us from red to violet, which means it's specific to each layer. Once a layer is destroyed.
Each layer. Okay.
Anti-magic field has no effect. That's crazy. I don't think.
Sorry, that's my shoe on the ground.
Yeah, I think you got it. It has some magics it can use, but nothing that will just like undo that shit.
Cool.
Um,
Can be destroyed,
Alright,
but
it's-
only. Wait.
you bought yourself 10 minutes.
Yes.
The only thing that will
Is he gonna try
happen
to
of
get out of
this
there?
is that no, it's patient.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But you effectively have paused combat, have ended combat. We'll have to like roll a new initiative because now you guys have. I mean, it's not even trying to get past these walls. It's not going to take
Oh
any
my god,
damage.
it's just gonna sit there.
Yeah. So you got 10 minutes to figure something else out.
Okay.
So.
Cool. Cleansing
I
touch.
kind of like
Cleansing
hands
touch.
at it and I say,
Cleansing touch.
Oh,
Nice.
thank you.
All right, so you lose the level of exhaustion that's associated with that, as well as the poison condition when he does a cleansing touch. It's
Hooray!
one effect that does all 3 of those things.
thank you.
No, that's great. I can only do 1 per action, so instead of doing
Nice.
like having 1 turn of cleansing touch, see you guys on the next round. So it's great.
Cleansing touch. That works nicely. Rainy, get back here. Stop licking everyone.
Oh, no, cricket legs anymore?
Nope.
Woo.
Oh yeah, I definitely cast this with my 5 foot reach.
suppresses like
even though that's not
squelches some of
necessary.
my screaming, but I'm still like doing the writhing and momentary like lapses of.
I want my arms to like literally stretch. Like
Stay with me. Stick
We
with me.
have to leave.
No, we don't. We can't leave.
We have to leave. This place will kill us.
Go to brown bag.
I just cast my 8th and 9th level spells right off the bat tonight.
Yeah, you did.
Score.
We'll sleep before
Burn 'em if
another
you got
boss
'em.
fight, right?
Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
The last time we did.
Last time we did not sleep forever.
We'll see.
This is the boss.
We
fight
went a
right
very
now.
long time without resting last time.
I'll feign death if necessary.
Okay. Sure.
Heard that.
While we're paused,
It's the only choice.
you have a strength to the grave. You don't have a cat anymore. I don't know. You're scared to death.
I'll tell you what. Why don't we take an actual rest, an actual break, and we'll make a plan, and then we'll come back with it. Okay?
Sounds
10
great.
Oh, man.
minute prismatic wall break.
We'll come with enough time for you to.
Alec thinks we should
What
leave.
did she say? What are you about to say?
Yeah.
Talk about it.
everything down.
Sickening radiance.
Yeah.
Ooh.
She's not in one spot, and it doesn't slow stuff down. It
Halves its speed.
It gives levels of exhaustion.
yes. It do that, but she got to be in one spot to get that. Otherwise, it don't work.
Like
Old
it tried to do
monster.
for you. Huh?
Old monster.
You
It has to
can
be
She's
a
got two
large or
legendary
smaller.
resistances.
because of how prismatic. Hi, everybody, we're back. Because of how prismatic wall works, she kind of designated that you all can pass through it, which means that you can move inside of it to cast a spell on it. So if you just take the risk of being in the same space with it.
What? I'm confused.
I'm just explaining how prismatic wall works as far as. I'm sorry.
The one she put
Base it. If I have a spell that's centered at a point I choose.
Rainy.
Hey, no, Raimi. Raimi.
Thank you.
No, it's fine. Come on in. Come on in. We have friends here. We're just gonna pause. We'll be right back.
Hi.
in there.
No, you can't see through it. You can move through it though. When you cast the spell, you're able to
That's
go.
what you're saying. We have to go in.
Hey,
I
these
see,
people are
I
allowed to
see.
walk.
That's
We're
what
back
the
online,
practice
by the way.
So we can't just cast through it.
No.
Oh,
Not
okay,
through it.
okay.
That's what I'm saying. If we all ready it on the
I see
outside
what you're
for
saying.
hit her with the low level thing, she has to make saving throws for to make her use
Mm-hmm.
her legendary resistances. Then me and you can hit her with a high level shit.
We
And
could
she's at-
disintegrate at the same time. Oh wait,
That-
what
Stab
word
her
was disintegrate?
It starts at 7.
Is it magic?
It's
magic.
Not.
No, you won't.
What about my dagger?
Your dagger's magic.
1d4.
1d4. Yeah.
Coming in hot.
It's magic though. I think I'm just gonna keep shooting it with the d8. Cause I mean,
Because madness.
it's more
I don't know
damage.
if I can do it.
Why not?
You don't have to do radiant, but just something that makes her do a saving throw.
True. Yeah, that's great. I'm in.
Against sneak
Well, you
attack.
actually you don't have to worry about that. They need to do the low level saving.
Yeah, you can
throw.
try
So
again.
choose your
I mean,
legendary
now I can't see any of you.
So I
just
should just do
imagine
something
it being
with
like.
mega damage.
So the next time
Disintegrate.
you
You can cast
see it, you'll be hidden.
Cast
So you
it
get
at
some
9th
attack next
level.
time.
It's 16d6 plus 40.
I've used my
They're
Oh,
fighting.
Then it's 26. That's still
They're fighting
Can I cast it?
the-
It is a 7th level
Yes.
spell, right?
yes.
Okay, cool.
the
Uh,
human
Crown
parts
of
of her
Thorns.
character have been like she's been slowly
Okay, I was gonna say
fading
that's
into the
radiant.
Shadowfell.
yeah, it's not as much. But.
So they're fighting her doppelganger here, who did look like her, but now looks like a giant ball of like
Well,
flesh and teeth and chains. This
Awful.
this is a Cibrix. Who names these things? Get at me, wizards. You don't name things well.
Oh.
Can't pronounce it. It must be.
It must be cool. I just why, or at the very least, name it any way you want to. Just give me like, oh,
pronunciation on the
yeah,
side.
what the fuck, right?
That
Like
would
every
be
other
great.
language.
They've never. Done.
Pronunciation.
No, they
would
do-
be
they do
really
that- they
great.
do that in
Spell out
adventure
the
books.
phonetics for me, please.
Like with the
Put
names.
They
little-
do.
That
but
would be great.
Enough of that.
Come on,
Come on.
come on. All right.
How much damage was that?
So, and currently they have it
Some
trapped
damage?
underneath a prismatic wall, and it refuses to engage. So they've just kind of forced it into a short 10-minute break because it's smart enough to know that the spell will end.
So yeah.
So what's do we have a plan? What's our plan?
This is
So
a huge-
we're gonna prepare spells. Those of us that can
Okay.
spell saving throw spells to make her use up the last for.
Legendary resistances.
Yep. And then the lower level spells are gonna make her use it, and then me and Meryl are gonna sit there with our big baddies after she doesn't have legendary resistances, and boom,
Let her
off.
come at us.
Yeah,
Well,
zips
Mhm.
off.
Jimmy's gonna stab it.
That poses an interesting question. Do your characters know that for some reason some things?
No, we're just gonna line up spells.
No, I know that. I think the level. I'm asking like an actual like at level 17. You're 18, level 18,
19.
19.
yeah.
What level are we?
19.
Are you not leveled up?
I'm
It's a little
level
silly. 12.
19. I think.
Then I would argue at heroic
Nineteen.
tier play you guys have encountered enough that I would actually. I'm just basically saying. I'm trying to make like.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying that I think that you're right. I think,
Needs
I
his
think,
head cannon.
yeah, I'm just making head canon. I think that
Just
you.
walk us through it. Yeah.
No, yeah, I think that you would definitely have picked up that some of these monsters can just absorb this magic. Just isn't
And
going
there's
to
a
work on them.
pattern to it.
There's a
and we
pattern to
observe
it,
The pattern.
and I think that's fine.
Also, I
don't
think
think
in
that's
this
too meta.
moment, Meryl just instinctively trusts Minerva, and if she's gonna go after something that she could have decided to be like morph back into at the risk of who knows what, and she's gonna choose to attack it instead. She says, "No victim, not my story."
Sorry, babe.
I think Meryl would just be on board because she is. She wouldn't really need much of a reason
You're there.
other than
Yeah,
that.
you're gonna just at this
So
point.
she
At
loves
this
taking
point-
on the big baddie.
At this point, it's just the two of you against the world. All these people.
and these people.
And these guys.
Never alone. We're the gray parts. It's the.
That's what we
That's
do.
right, the grey parts.
We're the gray
And
parts. You
Meryl.
two
Yeah, we're the great ones.
You
You're
two
just
are the
witchy sisters.
Witchy sisters and the gray parts.
Roll me an insight.
At Riverwind Casino
Minerva.
this Saturday.
The insight. You said?
Insight, please. Roll with advantage.
I shall. Nat 20.
Oh!
Got a 20.
Got a 20 and a 19.
Just for those at home, this
Um,
is my shit.
Yes.
Okay, that makes that pretty clear for me.
Get on her level right
You
now.
you know that you're kind of
Gotta
putting
do
together
stay
some
in
of the
the shadow,
clues,
though.
right?
I
Like
know
the
things.
things it's saying. It's still talking.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's if you get close enough to it, because you can kind of walk through, you can walk right through the layers of the prismatic wall.
Right.
As you walk through it, you can hear it still mumbling. It's still saying victim, vassal, vessel.
Right.
And it's saying it with like 30 different mouths.
Uh-huh.
So, and it's also saying it in your mind as you get close, you get within 120 feet of it. So,
165.
you know that. I don't tell you too much. Too much. Is that a dog? No, it's a water bottle. It's a water bottle. It's a water bottle. You know that if you know exactly what it means by taking its place. It wants you, and you can still do this, by the way. If you want to, you can still, as an action on your turn, take its chains and take its place. What will happen is that you will regain your mortality, but you will also lose all of your powers.
Yeah.
And that will become
No,
something
I
else.
mean, I think like 3 levels ago, I was kind of over getting back to where I was and was consumed with being the most Minerva Minerva could be.
Okay, and I'm just stating that out. I think that
When I took the staff, that's when that was.
Cool. So I think you would, at the very least, know you would knowing the context of that is still like, and you don't have to give a damn about prophecies. You don't. I mean, that does not have to influence
Fuck
your character.
that.
Yeah, they can fuck that. But you're not going to. You're basically the read I made for you is I'm going to break the puzzle. I'm not going to play the puzzle.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
You're Neo in the third movie.
Well, that's kind of what Minerva's been doing this whole time. Is
Yeah.
I can blow you up instead of dealing with you. So why not blow you up?
Mm-hmm. And you're just going to deal
She
with
has a wand
the
to flip
repercussions of that.
When's
All
your
right,
point?
cool. Then that's. I just think that was worth. You would have had enough time to kind of digest what was happening, in case that was a.
Yeah, 10 minutes. We got some really great scenes.
But
Great
I'm gonna
character
go ahead
development.
and we're going to start initiative. We're back to the last minute of the prismatic wall.
Midnight.
I think we know how we want to play. We don't need to roll necessarily.
You know,
If that's-
you get to go. You guys get to go first. It's inside of a bubble. We can't see you.
Well, I think we're all preparing spells that all of us that can cast spells are preparing spells to be triggered once the wall is down.
Okay, so you're just gonna wait for the
We've
wall. to
already
drop.
Yes.
actions.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
If
Alright.
it's not gonna move.
Well, it's ready to action as well, so you will have to roll initiative just to see who's action
going.
who gets to go first.
Cool.
Yeah. So everyone has spells. You can all get aligned. You're all kind of circling it, ready.
Are you
My
going
melee
for a
guys,
big
you are out of
spell now?
sight, so we
Or are
can't
you
see
ready?
you.
No,
You're
we are
big.
the big baddie.
Um,
He can cast spells and he can cast spells.
You're gonna-
There's 2 legendary resistances left because I
Gotcha.
already used.
You're gonna cast. What spell are you gonna cast?
I can only cast
I'm
one
gonna
spell that
enfeeble
like
him.
requires a saving throw.
Shoot my
but
yeah.
if he
Enfeeble?
succeeds on it,
Yeah.
then
Okay.
it'll be
What are
just
you gonna cast?
wasted.
Right.
Hold monster.
You're gonna cast Hold Monster. What are you gonna cast?
Sunburst.
I love this. What are you gonna cast?
Finger of death.
Okay, very cool. That's a lot of stuff. That's bad.
I'm
Okay.
gonna stab it with my dagger.
Yes, Dove.
Maybe you should just hang back.
Yes,
I think I'm gonna
Matrix.
make- I'm gonna reserve an action with my fast hands in case.
Yeah.
I'll let you eat that real loose.
So we can.
initiative.
Oh no.
I think we're all rolling.
Yeah, everyone except for Dell over here roll initiative.
Oh, sorry, guys.
The worst. My dice hate.
Oh,
I feel like we would say witch. Not witch.
bitch!
Oops.
We just talked about that.
I forgot.
Oops.
Okay. It's going to go first.
No.
What did he roll?
Nat 20
No.
Can I use one of my luck points?
to make him reroll.
Yeah.
What's the highest roll right now?
It's not mine.
It's not mine.
I'm
I rolled a
gonna
30.
inspire my.
I rolled 14.
Okay.
I rolled a 12.
Can you do that with initiative?
Sure.
Yeah, it's just not a saving throw.
Oh.
Whoa!
I've got a non-nat 20 initiative now.
That's nice.
That doesn't count.
Anybody roll higher than a non-nat 20? You made,
Well, I
you made him
know.
roll higher, technically.
Did I?
Yeah.
Whack.
That's
Her, sorry.
You can't roll
Whack.
higher than that.
How's a
natural
After you
one?
add your modifiers.
Well, the
Yeah,
luck.
but I thought nat
Hey,
20 was like.
can I reroll
Oh
my
yeah,
one?
yeah, but I mean, it was a critical. It was a success,
Well,
but
the luck means that you take the lower one.
oh well
Yeah.
then, it would
It's just
still
whichever
well
the lower-
the 20 is a natural
Yeah,
success. You're
yeah.
forcing me to the other one,
Yeah.
whatever it is, but it is technically higher because I just took the you just
The higher-
take the,
the total,
20,
yeah.
Right. I rolled a natural 1 on my reroll. Can I use your thingy?
I don't think you need to.
Halfling blood.
Unless,
Oh yeah.
okay.
How about a 13?
Okay.
Don't
That's
tell
fun.
me how to play, bitch.
That's fun.
Can I have the chip?
Which? Which?
Which?
My spells are gonna
Not a bad spot.
My spells will bring me back to life.
It is going to
We'll see.
make me a dex saving throw. As the shield drops, it is ready, its mouth's agape, and it hurls the stream of bile. It's had its mind's eye fixated on where it thought you were, and it was just ready.
I'm gonna luck point that.
Go for it.
Oh wait, no, it's a 1, so I can.
You
Saving
don't
throw?
have to.
How many do you have?
Yeah, how many do you have?
I don't have luck points per se. I have a use of eating
One
a
per
natural
round.
1 per round.
Per-
I
per
just
round.
ate.
Okay, that's what I said. I was like, what's this? Okay.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for keeping yourself clean. Have a hero point, and she can use it.
Yay! I can't use a hero point on a saving throw.
Yeah, you can use it. I just said you could.
Cool. Dope.
On this one, because I misspoke.
Non nat 20. Dex save.
Cool.
From the bile.
Pass me
You'll take half damage.
Bountiful luck from
Nice.
halfling thief.
Classic.
It's been pretty good.
Pretty good so far.
That's greatest hits
I
right
had
there.
a magic item that gave me 9 lives.
You'll take 17 total damage.
Okay. What kind of damage is it?
Acid.
Acid? Okay.
All right, it did its thing. Everybody go crazy.
Hand it up.
Go ahead.
I'm sure for reference, well, no, I guess I shouldn't do that. Let me take its full turn. My bad. Let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny, all three of you guys
Oh, no.
make me a Constitution saving throw. It's not going to be able to attack you guys. It can't move fast enough to get close enough, so it's going to skip right to its warp feature. You don't have to roll anything, Alec. You're fine.
Oh.
Oh, you can, buddy.
You can mimic
15.
their actions.
Okay.
That one.
Roll a d4.
8.
Okay, good.
I swear to
Can I
God,
get
dude. Can I
them?
jail? No, jail. I want to jail it.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
we're
yeah,
jail.
We're doing the thing?
Sure.
Jail
Doing a
it.
thing.
Doing the thing?
Doing a thing.
Dang
Oh no! Spider-Man!
Jimmy.
That's an automatic success, right?
Spidey.
When my shit breaks, not automatic success.
Those are
Second-
not one.
You beat the
one
DM.
right
You're
there.
so, you're so insensitive. That's fine, I'll glue him back.
You can glue back.
He's fine. He's made of plastic. Here, roll this d30.
Doing a thing.
We like
Give me your
doing
D4.
things.
D20.
Oh, you want to re-roll it?
The save. It's a 1.
Oh, okay, yeah, for
We're
sure.
in the jail.
I thought you wanted to re-roll your.
So that's what you were like,
Yeah, I was like, all right, whatever.
I need the other D20 out of there, don't I?
No, this one lives in your. Yeah. That shitty.
Wow.
Use
I have
this
that
piece of
shitty
shit.
one that I always yell at when no one's around. You're shitty.
Feel bad?
Never gets to come out of bars.
No!
Fuck! So close. Not a 30, but
Oh.
29.
Cool.
So that's a
Yeah, you're fine.
no.
You wanted to say it's 33.
It's a 33.
All
Fine.
that, yeah, you're
You
fine.
save. You fail. You fail.
Uh-huh.
Awesome. Level of exhaustion. Poisoned. Roll me D100
Oh boy.
as your flesh begins to warp.
This again.
Animal-y.
No! No, my God.
Not animals
That's not
again.
good.
Haha.
I was over this shit.
Rabbit ears. Cat tail.
Nah, I feel like no one's got a monkey.
What'd you roll?
Elephant trunk.
76.
It's like Willow all
76.
over again.
Drum bones
It's like Willow
led
all over
the
again. That freaked me
You
out as a
start to, you feel a 9 inside of you, and then you start to like wilt. flour. Your skin, your fat, like completely melts away, and you husk up. You lose half your body weight.
What?
You're all thin and skeletal. Your and you have a disadvantage on Constitution saves.
Does Meryl know what spell was cast or what
This
just
is
happened?
not a spell. This is that thing that just happened to you.
Despair.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the same. Okay.
This is its warp creature is what it's called.
Literally
It's a thing
just
you can do every
transmutes
round.
us.
Damn.
Yeah, it's just a horrible thing.
It is a terrible, horrible thing.
Terrible.
Okay,
No,
and then what did you roll?
I feel it hard. 8.
Oh, okay.
On your D100?
Oh, whoa! I'm sorry. That's what I'm rolling this for. 41.
Okay.
Sorry,
I was like, wait a minute.
I failed.
We don't know how bad this is about to be.
Thank you. It's a 41
Oh,
on the
it's
D100.
It's just random, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I assume.
Your skin starts to become scabby and chitinous, like there's shell kind of protruding out of it, like
You got gray
like a
skin.
bug. Yeah. You gain a +1 to your AC.
Okay. Okay.
Weird
And
flex, but alright.
you get a -4 to your charisma score.
Fuck.
Whoa.
That's a
Just
My
write those
overall
out.
score?
Yeah, so it reduces your charisma modifier.
You're like a bug.
That's
You should have a little.
Crazy.
so
mandibles.
Remember these
And I
things.
also have
Remember these things can go.
Tentacles.
Those
Tentacle
are gone.
arms.
Those tentacle arms are gone.
Remember that you get a save at each
Good
of
for
your
you.
I
turns.
cleansed
Yeah,
them.
those already went away. So you get a save at each of your turns, and at the beginning of each of your turns, you get a save. You have to save 3 times
Oh my gosh.
before,
I did
and
a lot
each
of
time
this
you can
shit.
get more of these things.
Okay.
So, all right, that's its turn.
I'm even weirder than normal.
Now, who wants?
No.
You guys can pick the order in which these spells
I think
resolve.
how it goes, right?
Yes.
You guys you had a plan,
Yes.
and we determined that it's okay for you guys to know that certain spells might get absorbed, so you can pick the order in which the spells are blah blah blah.
Yeah.
blocked off.
Cool.
So Alex first. Where are you casting again?
Jeez.
Shooting an enfeebling arrow.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So you're just shooting an arrow. Gotcha. Yeah, that's great.
I mean, that's how I
That's
cast
great.
my spells.
That's great. I follow.
But it is a
just shooting an arrow. You're shooting an arrow. That's what I meant to say.
He shoots like this.
It's a
You
20.
shoot an arrow.
It's a 27 to hit,
You know what I'm talking about?
That hits.
and then
What is the natural?
17.
Well, that's an auto crit. This is a fiend, my friend.
Oh, are we doing that? I didn't know.
Well, it doesn't have a head.
I'm super exhausted.
It doesn't
right
have
now.
a head, so you can do the all. It does like an extra damage, right?
It's 6d 66 or hold on.
Can I include it?
I've got it right here.
I just like that.
For the
can't
vorpal.
know.
That's insane.
So a flat 15 hits fiends and activates.
Yeah, if I can't be headed, it is
Vorpal arrow.
68.
The flat.
6d8
Yeah.
every arrow.
Roll and calculate your damage. We're gonna
For
work down the line as all these things are
fuck's
happening.
So it's not making a
Uh,
saving throw.
But it
Does
also has
do-
to make a Constitution save
Okay.
Okay.
for the enfeeble part, and it's 18.
All right. It fails. What does the enfeebling do?
The effect is it now for a round it just deals half damage on attacks.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna take that one.
It's gonna be enfeebled.
Yeah.
Nice.
It
I need a
would.
bunch of d8s. 1, 2, 3, 4. I put them away.
It says to you in your mind as things are hitting it, says, I know you better than you know yourself,
More?
sister.
I got
It sounds like Ray Fiennes. Sister!
No, is that he's got it.
Potter!
He's got enough?
Yeah.
I don't know where
2 of
mine
those
went.
are mine.
Yeah. That's yours.
Oh no.
Alright, what are you casting over there?
Hold monster.
Alright, what's it save?
Wisdom save. 19.
25. We will choose to pass that one.
I burnt one.
Thank you.
Alright, what are you doing?
What's the 4d6?
I can have it burn a save
These are my
in
favorite
case.
damage
It needs to make a con save for me if you want me to go first.
What just happened with yours?
Yeah,
I'm
that's-
sorry.
It
It's
failed it,
used.
but it uses
I
legendary resistance.
So it's
won the
used one.
resistance.
Here.
Yeah, if you want.
I'll cast
I just
Finger
think
of
this damage
Death.
might do more.
Totally, I do too. It needs to make a con save.
What kind of damage does Finger of Death do?
Necrotic.
What's your spell save?
Oh shit.
Oh, and all the damage for that was 46.
What's
all
your
day.
intelligence?
46
19.
magical
It's
slashing
necrotic.
Yeah.
and necrotic.
Did
Yeah.
I increase
46
that
only.
with that?
It
Did
should-
it go up at level
I think
9?
Your
max
intelligence
at
is- yeah, I
19,
think-
unless your intelligence is like
Cool.
20.
Well, my intelligence
Yeah,
is
you,
a 20.
you do a massive
Yeah,
amount of
that's
damage to it.
19.
Breaking a
Okay.
few of the
Has
chains,
to be higher.
it kind of
Above it.
becomes hinged and is now kind of more erratically floating through the room. It's very disconcerting the way this thing moves around like some sort of flower in the wind. It kind of whips around. What you're doing, Finger of Death?
Spell save is 19.
It saves.
No.
Of course.
Okay, it still takes half my damage then.
Do it.
From whence
Okay.
these came?
78 plus 30.
No, that one's yours.
1.
No, it's there.
Can I have some D8?
I got you.
You have yours
Wow.
back.
Yeah.
4-1.
3, 4, 5.
You know
I
the
just
one?
need 2 more.
With
Never
like the
mind,
best
I'm
like,
good.
stats
Cool.
or, you know, like
7.
war of attrition.
Okay.
What do we burn it all down?
Beneficial to no one.
We're destroying the Shadowfell then.
Literally.
Oh, okay.
The whole thing.
We're gonna open a black hole
That's
in
fine.
the Shadowfell.
That's
But
fine.
this
It sounds like
great
this
old
group.
one or
That sounds
whatever.
exactly like this
You can't
group.
beat the campaign, break the campaign.
Yeah.
Wish for a black hole. Right
They're
now.
only ever
Yeah.
trying to kill the campaign. It's
That's
never
what
about
I
the
do. I
monster.
blow up campaigns.
Yeah,
I feel
it's
like
true.
all of
Yeah,
your
that
major
is your
campaigns, I just
You've been one
blow
of the
your
most fun
plans.
players to play with because of
It
this.
takes 30 damage.
Ow.
It did
Ow!
60. So half.
Ow!
No.
I took 30 damage, it yells.
Thank you.
In your head.
Isn't this one yours?
Alright,
No.
what do you do,
Jake's.
Maner?
He gave me some.
Minervo?
Make a con save.
My con save.
What's your spell save?
19.
It saves.
Roll a disadvantage.
You gonna take the bag for a bit?
It had advantage, so I only rolled one time, so I'm just gonna keep that roll.
Oh, okay.
It has magic resistance, so. Okay, what else you got?
Uh,
You got any hero points?
nope.
I have 2. Take them.
For 2 hero points, I'll let you this round twin a spell at the same target.
Okay.
Do it.
Yeah.
Specifically because you're doing tag teamy stuff with your sis.
Tag
Cool.
teams.
Tag
Then
team.
do another
Tag
con
team.
save then.
Tag team. Tag team. Tag. Oh.
We like
I
to
do love a good trend.
You didn't catch
What are you casting?
it. Not synchronized well
Sunburst.
enough. You gotta sync up, man.
Tag.
Don't be more embarrassed.
Okay, it's gonna use its last.
Tag team.
It's gonna use its last legendary resistance.
Yes.
It still takes half damage from the first one,
Cool.
but now the legendary.
Fuck yeah. Fuck
It
it up. I'm
needs.
sorry. I'm getting really aggressive.
That's fine. No, you twinned it. It failed both times. It gets half damage twice. The spell gets cast twice.
It failed both times? Okay.
Yeah.
I was confused. Oh.
The
yeah.
spell effects happen. You just cast the spell. I mean, you twinned it. So.
That's cool.
Finger.
It's radiant damage.
So if you want to, you can just roll it all together, and we can just basically you forced it to. You need so much sunlight that it couldn't help but.
So.
I know.
Be absorbed, son.
I'm just gonna leave the really heavy one over there.
Max, no, do not.
Well,
Firmly dump stuff.
He's gonna try to eat it.
Eat anything, dude. He does
He will
not.
try to eat that.
He does not give a
He'll
fuck.
chew on it for days.
He'll
New
die
favorite
before
toy.
he gives up that treat.
He can like hide. He can like trap hide things in his mouth.
Trap high.
Way back there. He'll
Trap
never
high
get
music.
Trap live music.
I love chewing on stuff. I love biting things.
Not people. Just little tiny things that I find in corners. Mostly things that aren't food.
Yeah. Plastic
Max is a
things or
plus
trash.
15 trap
He
bonus
loves
in his
to
mouth.
chew on trash.
He's a little garbage boy.
Good God.
Little garbage boy.
Rainy.
Little garbage boy.
Little
Just
garbage
don't let her
boy.
think it's gonna happen.
Little garbage boy.
Alright. Lay down.
46 rating.
Lay down.
Awesome. Yeah.
Alright.
You sear it. You can smell its flesh burning from the sunlight. It screeches. You got anything else you can do, or is that the end of your turn?
No, that's just my that's just my action.
Okay. Well, you twinned. Does that not cast a bonus action?
No, that's my action. That expands my action economy.
That's awesome.
Insane.
All right, what else are you
The
doing?
Halleck's still yelling.
God, come on.
I'm going to. I'll send my Houndeville Omen out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Bring him out.
It's been a minute.
Awesome. It springs forth, empowered by being on the plane of the Shadowfell.
Yeah.
You can use your normal direwolf stats, but you can double proficiency bonus for it.
What shape is it now?
It is a horrible, like, it is not, it's not a creature at all. It's
Yeah,
this,
it's
like,
shapeless.
amorphous, like...
You've seen Over the Garden Wall.
Yeah.
The Beast.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Dope.
You're the only one that gets that reference. I love that about you. That's like, it's so awesome that I can just talk about my shitty little kids cartoons.
Nicole's one reference, have a hero point.
Yeah!
I'm the
I don't know
only one.
anything.
Good job, guys. We made it.
No, you're all over the best
We made
cartoon.
it.
No, I
This is
wish
exactly
I
your
wish I could
thing.
find an entire audience of people who's never seen any of the things. I just use stuff, and Nicole's like, "That's cool."
We're all like, oh yeah, we know this
You're
trope.
like, that's from Star
That's
Wars.
from Star
episode
Wars.
6.
That's right.
Oh. Whatever.
Okay,
Yeah, so, gonna attack that shit.
do it.
Oh. I'm looking at this scary creature.
This is a non-nat 22 hit.
That's too creepy.
This?
That hits.
Is that not it?
It's that's a depiction of it, but that's not it from the cartoon. I'll keep
It
looking.
hits.
I'm sorry.
It
It
hits.
doesn't float the whole boat.
Okay, cool.
It's half a boat.
It's like capsize.
It's not the boatload. It's, yeah. It's,
Oh no.
ugh.
You wrote down. Oh,
It's just 7 piercing
Probably
damage.
more accurate. We get it.
As
Nicole,
you
we get it.
call forth your Houndeville Omen, it stretches from your shadow, and then you feel it like form around you, and then like it jumps, it like lands like through you, and you're like, what the?
Mm-hmm.
What? As it rips into this creature, it is an extension of yourself as well. It is kind of like my head represents that whole time of you
Layers
being
of reality.
of you being an animal.
Uh-huh.
It is all of those things,
Uh-huh.
and it starts to viciously pull this creature apart until it's dug itself deep inside of the big
Body of
wet like
Center mass.
it's still the same candy for kids. What was it? The
Kinder Egg.
the Kinder Egg. It's still a Kinder Egg.
It would make an
It
incredible
cracks.
zombie.
It literally rips it open. You hear the sound of like sternums ripping this, like, as it rips apart, and it pulls out with its head that is eyes and tentacles. It's losing like even cohesiveness in the Shadowfell as it's pulling magic. It's looking even beyond you, and it's causing like this like wind to blow everywhere. That's trying to kill you.
I go and just grab Alec. I'm like,
Ooh, my updo falls out like my gorgeous
It reaches in
ratty
and
ratty
pulls
head.
out Minerva's head. It pulls out your doppelganger's head again, and she's screaming at the top of her lungs, like she's like you're in your 40s, 30s.
30-ish.
Yeah, she's like you at 18. So
Okay.
she's like this specifically trying to like make you feel younger and
Yeah, belittling a little
belittling you. It rips its head off, and when it does, you lose your madness, you lose your despair.
Already lost mine.
No dread.
You roll me a death save
Oh.
with
Oh
disadvantage.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. No, that makes sense.
As that
Whoa,
happens,
it's
the
a
Houndeville
piece
Omen
of her, like-
ships away. The Civilex falls to the ground, its chains lifting up, and Minerva falls over, convulsing. A shadow rolls out of her mouth, and her eyes.
What, a luck point reroll that?
A luck point would be rolling.
Dope. Cool.
You just fail a death save.
I did. It did fail a death save. It's below 10 that fails it, right? Yeah. Just no mods. Just. Okay, we're good. We're good.
All right. So you've made your first death save. You continue, as you guys see her, like a dry ice machine. Like shadow is pouring out of her, and as it does,
Well, I'm
her
all wilty and
legs.
stuff still, right?
Huh?
I'm all wilty and stuff still, right?
Yeah, and you're once the creature dies, all those effects on you,
Okay.
they all change back. So you no longer have the
No
exhaustion.
poison.
You no longer have the poison or tentacles or whatever the fuck you have.
Oh, I like those.
I like tentacles. But you are literally, as this rolls out of you across the ground, your body, like Back to the Future style, is just starting to fade. And
You guys,
It
you
starts to
guys
fade.
don't know, I don't think, my lack of serious pop culture.
I've run into it in a much more limited way.
That one hurt me the most.
That one was a personal attack, but it's fine.
okay, so she is.
Get really close
She's
to
like
home.
hard dying, y'all. What do you do?
Oh, so many things. I rushed to her first of all.
Can I do a medicine check on her?
Yeah.
Do that. Yeah, you do
Go
that.
for it.
Well, I got this wish spell.
13.
You're like, I gotta stop the bleeding. And you get down and you put your hand on her arm, and your hand pushes right through her arm. And you're like, oh god! And,
Guys!
scissors.
She like
Guys!
disappearing.
Huh?
Okay, I need to think of a wish spell fast.
You think of what?
A wish spell wording fast.
Didn't you already use your
She
9th level
disappeared.
spell?
She used an 8th level
shit.
spell.
Yeah, I did. Okay, never mind.
What was your 9th level spell?
Prismatic.
Prismatic. Oh.
I'm bummed it didn't work.
It did.
It did. It bought us time. He just didn't get to go through the damage walls. But
Oh
that's
yeah, I
okay.
mean the thing's smarter
It's
than you
fine.
are.
Yeah.
It's kind of
I do an
25
arcana check?
I
intelligence.
just
So.
should have thought of something
Huh?
like that.
Does I have to like do an arcana check like over? You said it was.
Sure.
shadowy.
Yeah. Do
Can
that.
I do an arcana check?
Do it.
Yeah. Do that.
Do all this stuff.
What other spells you got? Maybe a 5th level spell?
26 insight.
Yeah. You got a spell for
I can't
this.
help people. I kill stuff.
Yeah, you guys just let
I
her roll
love
a death
the
save.
day.
Yeah, that's just gonna.
Roll your death save.
No.
Disadvantage still?
Minerva! Don't leave me, Minerva!
Slow roll. 10.
Ooh.
All right, that's a save. Two saves, right?
Yeah, that's 2
succeed.
Can I,
saves.
Come on,
Stefan,
we're
can I
okay.
give her my? Can I like transfer energy from myself to her?
Are you paladin?
I will be.
Which, I mean, you have full HP.
No, I don't.
Oh,
I don't know what you're reading, but that is not that.
okay, well, sorry. I meant you have. That's not why
That's
you're
not what the
making
issue is here.
death
That's
saves,
not what the issue
right?
is here.
Yeah.
Can
No,
I cast?
sorry, you have dropped to 0 HP. Technically, you have to lose HP to
Make
make that save.
I cast-
So yes, you do have 0 HP. But
Yeah.
I cast feign death
What? Oh.
because that at least just knocks her unconscious for a while and stabilizes
What?
her.
Can I just
Right?
lay on hands then?
Can I do that?
I was gonna die.
Let me see if that would even work.
Um,
It sounds like it would
There's
work
that.
until
Go
I
ahead,
said
lay
it
some
out
hands on
loud.
her, bro.
I think I'm the only one that knows.
lay some hands on her.
Okay, yeah. Zero.
How much?
10.
You have 10 hit points and you're alive.
Oh God.
Why didn't I
and
think of that
as
as a
you
syndrome?
as you start to push the magic into her, you start to recoalesce. But you are not in good shape at all. You have to get out of the Shadowfell.
Yeah.
I summon my Harrington, and I'm like, let's go!
He's like, what?
we have to leave!
What?
Why is that the only thing you say? This is such a terrible ancestral guardian! We've been over this!
I love birds that make awful noises.
Birds make
And
awful
all
noises.
of your devices are the most
They smell
obnoxious. Like
terrible.
I mean, the shield's like, well, we don't need the stupid thing lost, so I can get us out of here on our own. And I'm like, shut up!
Maybe.
Let's just all go. I'm
You
not
touch
helpful at
plane
all
shift?
anymore.
Don't you?
Plane or bind. I probably can plane
The
shift. I
the
can teleport us.
as you are kind of
to-
riding yourselves and you call in your big flying
A wizard's kicking
buzz
my
Antler bird.
antler bird, and you're starting to like go through the spells. You guys are like looking around, like, what do we do? What do we do? And then all of a sudden, there is a crack of like lightning and thunder, and a fissure forms in reality right in front of you.
Oh, fuck.
And a silhouette walks through and reaches its hand out and says, "You're not gonna get this reference either. Come with me if you want to live."
I know that's a reference. Like, it's memeified.
Yeah.
I know it's a reference.
Meme, but true.
But I don't know. what
And reaching through the portal as your eyes adjust, the first time you've seen light in what feels like months, is a super hydrated Ezit the Lich, who is like, and he looks at you and he says, he like does a gesture, Doctor Strange style, and you like convulse over, and you have all of your hit points, and you absorb all of your like shadow mass back, as well as that was inside of the
Other Minerva.
the other Minerva. So he like pulls the magic in, grabs you, and you like fall over, and he's like, "Well, don't just stand there like idiots. Come with me." And he throws you over his shoulder, and he walks through the portal, and
Yeah, obviously.
and
I
you're
follow.
unconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, we
Follow.
follow. Like,
Well,
no, wait.
I mean, he doesn't have his phylactery anyway, so
Fuck
it's
it, we
like.
follow.
Wait,
Follow.
Oh, I drag you. You're terrified, right?
Oh no! I mean, I guess that
It's
was
for
the spell.
fist for story so I mean it's
I just thought I missed
10 so
something.
no it's just this like dramatically he does this like very quickly. It's like meant to be disorienting. He just uses intense magic stuff that you don't even know what he's doing, and God, I can't think of words. You recoalesce, thank you. And the shock of that makes you pass out. That was basically like the idea. Then like the camera, like you guys just are like, what?
I'll take
And like through his like arcane gate, there's just like energy whipping out, and like
Yeah.
and as you look around you, it's like this place is awful. There's vampires like flying in. Like there's really don't have much of a choice but to follow him anyways. Although that being said, that's a really dramatic way to end the session. We can answer some questions. We can, as we like come back to, you guys are back inside of his runestone like hideaway, like on his level of the Undermountain, and
I do feel more down
At
here.
his like safe hold.
At his
I
safe hold.
feel human.
yes, you're human again.
Can I
What?
do something strange,
Yeah,
sister? Could I
I trust you.
give you a hug?
No. Oh.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's right. Come here.
I imagine they hold on for a second, and then neither one of them likes it.
They're like, this is very odd. Get away.
Side hugs only.
We tried.
As it basically has a real like.
I'll bow to you, and you can bow.
He has a
to
real
them.
like.
Yeah.
You guys are all maybe
Step
like having like a
back.
Frodo moment where you're like, "Oh, Minerva! Oh!" and she's like, "Stop it! Stop it!" We're like, "Minerva!" yay."
We're like picking her up in a chair. She's like, really, put me the fuck down.
Yeah. But you're all like kind of crowding around her, and the Lich, he slams the door open, and he's different looking now. He's got long hair. His skin is. Remember, I said that he's like when he reformed, you had pumped some like souls into him, so he looks almost normal, except that he's got that his skin's like translucent, so you can like see his like skull like beneath his like handsome features. But he's younger. He's healthier than he was when you saw him because he's got a new body. Basically, he like slams the door and he's like, "We don't have time for like bullshit. First things first. You want to stop Hallister and the patient one. You're gonna need my help. Like,
Stopping the patient one is my aim.
you're gonna need my help, little one, and I'm gonna need my phylactery back.
I don't
We
know
need
what
this-
you're talking about.
We
need-
lost it.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Even with your phylactery.
Don't lie to me.
Even with your phylactery, you've never left here.
It's fine. If you want your phylactery, we need the staff. I tell him about the staff.
He's like, you took my phylactery to that fucking brass dragon.
Yes.
This is getting worse, isn't it?
We'll help you get it back.
She says sheepishly.
He doesn't cast Power Word Kill. He's like, you will get it back. You will get it back. You will get it back. He's like really upset.
Well,
He's really upset.
And he says, or I will send you right back where you came from. He says, you get no help from me. He says, if you want any, he's just like, this is way out of your depth. And he says, I understand that you're the children of midnight, and I understand that you're essential in his prophecy, but I'll make you the victim myself. So basically, he's like, I know what's going on here. Y'all don't know shit because you just came running through the fucking Undermountain. Oh, look at us. We got big swords and big dicks swinging them around. Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I've been fucking planning shit forever. Like,
You do not.
I've been the patient one, motherfucker.
This is Jake's ultimate rant against us.
Yeah.
Like, you sons of bitches, it's been 20 weeks of this shit.
So he's basically like, you're gonna need my help. I will help you. But first, we have to retrieve my phylactery. That's the price of his payment. He says, otherwise, you're not going to get to help. You're not going to be able to break any curses. You're not going to be able to assign any victims. He says, your sister's going to marry that endless evil and is going to bring entropy to the, like, basically, the end the end of everything is happening because this thing has been awakened. And he's like, it's simple. Hallister is safe. He says the Undermountain is completely... You cannot affect the Undermountain from the outside. So Hallister's plan is to help this guy, like, erase everything and then build an infinite dungeon. He's just nuts. His plans don't make sense. They don't have to. That's the best thing about him, is that he's just like, he says that I could have like taken control of the Undermountain 100 times, but he knew that the moment he did, he'd be letting go of his consent, that the mountain would control him. The mountain controls Hallister. He says it's not the other way around. Mm-hmm. So, I guess I'm on the team, and then that's where we'll end the session. Thanks to his magics and your hard work and tying up your little plot thread, go ahead and level up.
Level 20!
Level 20, babies! Level 20, babies! I guess next week we actually do a dragon heist? Yes!
Cool.
Fuck that book. We're gonna actually steal something from a dragon.
Why do you even call it that?
Alright. Thanks for not watching, anybody. We love you.
Suck it forever and always.
Bye.
Tune in Tuesday, and you can see our friends. Our Tuesday crew friends.
Featuring these two.
And yay! Orc Makes Beautiful Lovers was here. Too late
thanks,
though.
bud.
Yeah, that's alright.
Catch
That's
it on
okay.
YouTube or
I still love you, and orcs are beautiful lovers. Alright, but have a good night. Bye 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 bye.